Chapter 158. I told you I won't come back. I won't come back. In Lin's villa, Li Shi hangs up the phone angrily. The only thing that can make her angry is her master, who always urges her to go back. What's wrong? Who made you angry? Baojia asks Li Shi, with a smile. After 3 years, Baojia's appearance hasn't changed at all. However, her eyes look more mature. She is no longer the girl who takes Wang Miao-yi as her role model. In the past 3 years, the Lin family has been under a lot of pressure, and the Qin family is not doing well either. The Zhou family seems to be convinced that Lin Luoran is dead. Although they don't do anything to Mr. and Mrs. Lin, they start to retaliate against the Qin family. The military and the government are not the same system, but they can play tricks on each other. The Zhou family can't do anything to Commander Qin, so they start with his old subordinates. Anyone who has anything to do with the Qin family will inevitably suffer all kinds of difficulties from the Zhou family. You can't do anything because you are in the military. You must have family members and friends, right? How many companies can resist the pressure from the Zhou family if they want to survive in society? This has become a matter of life and death. Commander Qin can ignore himself, but he can't let his old subordinates worry about all kinds of hardships at home. Finally, the next year, he takes the initiative to retire due to illness. Baojia is no longer the only granddaughter of the commander of the military region, nor is she the daughter-in-law of the rich Lu family in the capital. She is now an ordinary jewelry designer. The only difference is that she is also cultivating, living in the Lin family. Baojia never thinks about living for free. Li Shi is not as innocent as usual. She asks seriously, Sister Baojia, have you noticed anything unusual at night? Baojia shakes her head and looks at Li Shi in confusion. Li Shi laughs and changes the topic to cultivation. Although Li Shi has the single Taoist root of the nature of gold, her experience in cultivation is enough for her to be the teacher of Baojia and Mr. Lin. After Baojia leaves, Li Shi touches the bundling rope on her wrist and thinks about something. These days, her master has been urging her more and more. At midnight, Li Shi always feels that there are some sneaky movements around the villa. Were they finally going to make a move against the Lin family? Li Shi felt desperate. She had been practicing hard in the past 3 years, but she was not as good as Sister Lin in the secret land. She had persisted for 3 years. There was no reason for her to give up at the last moment. Although death is scary, Li Shi will hate herself for being a coward. Besides, Master wouldn't let her die, right? What about the rest of the Lin family? In summer, the weather in the mountainous area could change at will. One moment, the sky was clear, and the next moment, the horizon would suddenly be covered by dark clouds. The wind made the curtains flutter violently. It seemed that another shower was coming. Li Shi is in a daze. She thinks of a stormy day 3 years ago. The weather was similar to this one. A strange woman in black came. Sister Lin heard something at night and went out. She never came back. Li Shi's eyes are covered with a layer of mist. Sister Lin, she is so tired. Where are you? In the Qingqing Taoist temple, a few miles away from the Lin family's villa. If Li Shi had a higher level of cultivation, she would have found that her disrespectful master was sitting on the armchair. Master Mu is sitting on the top left. He doesn't seem to be happy. Master Gua is still coughing hard. He looks worse than Master Mu. Master Huizhu, the Taoist priest of the Qingqing Taoist temple, is sitting on the top and is at his side. Although he is still young, he is becoming more and more like the successor of the Taoist priest. In the small Qingqing Taoist temple, all the famous people in the world of cultivation are here. To put it nicely, this is a regular meeting of the world of cultivation. To put it bluntly, they are openly discussing how to divide the Lin family. Master Mu doesn't like to offend people. Master Gua has an old injury. It's okay for him to scold Lin Luoran, but if he really fights, his injury will break out immediately. Chen Yun, the minister of the special department of the state of Huaxia, is wearing a Chinese tunic suit. He is a nice guy who smiles at everyone. Although his personal ability is low and he is only one step away from the level of laying foundation, he has a lot of power because of the entanglement of different forces. Wen Guanjing, Chen Yun's right-hand man, is not here today for some reason. There are only 5 cultivators in the level of laying foundation in the state of Huaxia. Hui Zhu, Master Mu, Master Gua, and Shi Heng, Li Shi, Er's master, are here. In fact, Hui Zhu is in the later stage of the level of laying foundation, so his opinion is the most important. Although Wen Guanjing is not here, the Wen family of Zhu Mountain is not absent. Everyone has their own thoughts. After drinking a few cups of tea, Shi Heng breaks the silence first. We are scheming against a family in the secular world. Isn't it? It's one thing to be disrespectful, but it's another thing to save face. Thinking that Li Shi has been living in the Lin family for several years, Shi Heng feels embarrassed. The master of the Wen family smiles. Master Shi, I heard that your apprentice is very stubborn. What is so stubborn about? The master of the Wen family smiles without saying a word. Shi Heng is about to say something when Hui Zhu opens his eyes. Master Shi, you have to know that treasuring a jade ring will get you into trouble. We are not going to kill anyone. As long as we get the jade ring, we can take care of the Lin family in the future. That adopted son of the Lin family is a genius of the single nature. If we don't train him well, it will be a loss for the world of cultivation. Seeing that Hui Zhu has made the decision, Master Gua suddenly stands up and starts coughing violently. Master Mu sighs. He has a big family to feed. For so many years, the Mu family has been thriving. After 3 years of coordination and suppression, he feels that he is worthy of his acquaintance with Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is a well-behaved girl. Why doesn't she have any luck? The master of the Wen family smiles and rubs his hands. Why don't you give the child to us? No one wants to let go of a genius of the single nature. Those who are thinking about it don't say anything. Shi Heng snorts in his heart. Zhu Mountain swordsmanship is the right way. Since when does the school of earth have to be robbed? The nature of earth is the most pure and mellow. It has nothing to do with fierce swordsmanship, in the sanatorium in the capital. After 3 years of reconstruction and the elixir provided by his master, the young master of the Zhou family finally stands up. If it were a good person, it would be an inspirational story. As for Zhou Yaowei, he has the potential to be a scourge for thousands of years. The young master of the Zhou family is very happy, but his charming master is a little dissatisfied. The power in the blood pool can make her bones and flesh grow again very quickly. However, with her current personal ability, she can't regrow a broken arm. The woman in black is so competitive that she will never go out with only one arm. Therefore, in the past 6 months, the woman in black has been receiving transplant operations in the capital. She needs a hand bone of the same length as her. She also needs the most advanced transplant operation. Finally, she uses a secret spell to fit the arm to her body. Without her as his apprentice, it is really not easy to do all these things. After more than a dozen operations, she finally finds an arm with a good fit. Where does the arm that failed before come from? The woman in black moves the newbie who is barely qualified. With the power of the Zhou family, they can always find a qualified donor. Are they willing to do this? The woman in black sneers. It has nothing to do with her. You want to deal with the Qin family and the Lin family. How is it going? Life is so boring. Watching a play is the only way to kill time. The woman in black really wants to know whether those righteous people who look decent but are actually prostitutes will help the Lin family when they are in trouble, or hit them when they are down. Master, don't worry. I have already told them that they won't kill us until we go to our city. The black-clothed woman looked at her dark red nails and said with a smile, that's good. The ground of the Zhongshan Mausoleum is full of tourists. Under the Zhongshan Mausoleum is the bloody and dark underground palace of the Blood Pool. After thousands of times of gnawing, the ghosts have long lost their patience with Lin Luoran. The water in the blood pool is tumbling. The ghosts throw Lin Luoran out with her eyes closed. Lin Luoran can't be possessed by the devil. Why does she occupy their space? They might as well discard her. Lin Luoran floats in the blood pool. She opens her eyes, which have been closed for 3 years. Her eyes hurt because of the blood light. She did not have the time to sigh at the hard-won light. She first checked the condition of her body, and a faint smile hung on the corner of her mouth inadvertently. Finally, the last trace of Reiki in her body is refined into Wakan. Chapter 159. Boom! As a bolt of lightning flashes across the sky, the heavy rain that has been brewing for the whole afternoon finally falls in the evening. The entire city, the surrounding counties and mountains are shrouded in the heavy rain. Thunder and lightning come one after another. It seems that the entire plain of Chuan province is shaking. The thunder is so loud that some places have to cut off the internet. Most of the students who can't live without the internet have to lie in bed and talk nonsense. Some girls are hiding under the quilt, while the boys are laughing and saying, "Who is going through the heavens' doom here?" A black MPV runs on the highway from our city to Mount Qingcheng without avoiding the thunderstorm. Zhou Yawei, who is still a little stiff in his subtle movements, orders with a smile, "Do it." A ferocious expression appears on his face, twisting his handsome face. The woman in black tilts her head and reminds him, there is a cultivator in the middle stage of training qi in the Lin family. Don't take her lightly. Zhou Yawei doesn't take it seriously. That girl has cultivation but no brains. She is not a threat. As if to prove Zhou Yawei's words, Li Shi, who lives on the second floor, hears a man's voice, "I know where Lin Luoran is. What do you want to trade for it?" Li Shi, has considered the possibility of luring the man away from the mountain. However, the so-called whereabouts of Lin Luoran is too tempting for her. One of the reasons why Li Shi decides to go after the man is that the man has no cultivation at all. He is just an ordinary person. If a cultivator in the middle stage of training qi can't deal with an ordinary person, Li Shi's years of cultivation will be in vain. Li Shi is confident that she can catch the man in 5 minutes. After 3 years, Li Shi's kung fu has finally improved. At least, she can jump out of the villa without being noticed. But why is the man running to the Qingqing Taoist temple? Li Shi wonders if this is a trick of the Taoist temple. The next moment, she sees the man in black who has been following her slowly fall to the ground. Li Shi pauses and claps her hands behind the tree. It is her master, Shiheng. Master, you. Is Shiheng kidding me? Shiheng makes a hand gesture, and the bundling rope around Li's wrist quickly binds her like a rice dumpling. Seeing that Li Shi still wants to scream, Shiheng makes a gesture to cover her mouth. Li Shi can't say a word. No one knows what kind of spell Shiheng has used. There is a pleading look in Li's big eyes. Shiheng can't tell whether it is rain or tears in the heavy rain, but according to his apprentice's character, she must be crying again. However, Huizhu can't stop Huizhu's decision. He coughs and says, "There are thieves in the Qingqing Taoist temple. Public morals are degenerating day by day." Shiheng holds Li Shi by the end of the bundling rope. Shiheng goes to check the man in black who has collapsed. Li Shi is lured away. The Zhou family feels that their plan works. They sneak into Lin's villa. Looking at the wall of vines full of flowers, the leader sighs that the Lin family has chosen a good place. It's so remote and there are no cameras. It's so convenient for them to take action. After a few steps, the leader jumps over the wall of vines. A man in black is already standing on the other side of the iron fence. He waves his hand, and 3 people behind him immediately jump over. The other 4 don't go in directly. Instead, they go around the back of the villa, climb up a big tree, and sneak into the backyard. The leader makes a gesture to attack, but he finds no one behind him. He feels something is wrong, so he steps back to an angle where he can protect himself. Then he turns around. God, what kind of monster is this? The leader couldn't help but be surprised. The heavy rain poured down, and some faint sounds were covered by the sound of the rain. The beautiful wall of vines behind him unexpectedly came to life and waved its claws like an octopus, quietly entangling his 3 companions behind him. Seeing that they struggled fiercely and seemed to be entangled more and more tightly, the leader felt very strange. Between not alarming the Lin family and saving his companions, he only spent 1 second to make a choice. He has to kill the Lin family as soon as possible. He is horrified. Mr. Lin and Baojia, who are hiding behind the curtain on the 2nd floor, look at each other and see helplessness in each other's eyes. Their personal abilities are too low, and they can only use a little Reiki. They even have to work together to command the iron thorns with natural spiritual plants. They feel helpless and bitter. Fortunately, they are all from the secular world. Even if Li Shi is not here, Mr. Lin and Mr. Lin will be able to take them down. In Baojia's mind, she is a little less confident. Unlike Lin Luoran, she and her father have never thought about learning some external martial arts even though they have been practicing hard in the past 3 years. Otherwise, they won't have to worry about dealing with these people. In the next 10 minutes, Baojia and Mr. Lin play tricks on the people who sneak in. A man in black just flips over to the window and his neck is entangled by the curtain which has been motionless before. It seems magical to the layman. In fact, it is just Mr. Lin waving the metal marbles hanging under the curtain and the marbles drive the curtain into the air. Baojia and Mr. Lin use this trick to take down 3 of the 5 people who sneak into the villa. Baojia and Mr. Lin have mixed feelings about this situation. They are happy that there are only 2 more people, but they are worried that they can only use a little Reiki in their bodies. Each of them can only control a small object once at most. If they can't do it accurately, Baojia looks at the swimming pool. For people with the nature of water and wood, the swimming pool is the best place to take advantage of the thorns wall. How can they lead them there? Bang! With a muffled sound, Baojia and Mr. Lin both lie on the ground. A bullet flies over their heads, leaving a neat round hole on the glass. They have guns with silencers. Damn it! Baojia bites her lower lip. They must be from the Zhou family. They break into a civilian's house with guns. The Zhou family is so selfish. Baojia is furious, but at the same time, she feels hopeless. What follows the gunman is Luodong sobbing. They hid him and Mrs. Lin in the basement, but they still couldn't hide. Mr. Lin clenches his fists. One is his wife, and the other is his adopted son. How can he stay calm? Baojia stops Mr. Lin and asks in a hoarse voice, "Tell me, what do you want?" A sneer comes from outside, "Miss Qin, you are smart. We are just small fries. Please wait for a moment. Our master will be here soon." Zhou Yaowei. Baojia's nails almost sink into her flesh. After all, she has brought trouble to the Lin family. If someone in the Lin family is injured, how can she face her missing friend? The cat and mouse drama in the Lin's villa is about to reach its climax. In fact, there are a group of onlookers near the villa. How can a group of ordinary people take the lead? The head of the Wen family sighs. Master Guo sneers, "Isn't this a good opportunity for you to play the good guy? Isn't this what Huizhu always does? He looks like a sage. How can he be willing to stain his hands with a drop of blood? In a moment of crisis, these people will show up like gods." The Lin family may still think that they are good guys. It is so shameful. He and Mu sent the villa to the wrong address. Although they have been friends with Huizhu for many years, they misjudged Huizhu's mentality when he was stuck at the later stage of laying foundation. A bolt of lightning lit up half of the sky. The heavy rain was endless. The internet in Rome City was still disconnected. If it wasn't for the fact that the internet was disconnected, whoever planned to do something to the Lin family would have been alerted by now. A photo spreads on the internet as fast as a virus. Chapter 160. Pei Yuan is a third-year student at the Jinling Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. His family is well off, so he doesn't need to work part-time. However, Pei Yuan works as a part-time tour guide every holiday. This year, he has already led several tours to Southeast Asia alone. This summer, Pei Yuan chooses to stay in Jinling to lead tours because of family affairs. Speaking of tourism in Jinling, Zhongshan Mausoleum has become more and more popular in recent years because of the popularity of the Huaxia Condor. For example, the Korean tour group led by Pei Yuan this time consists of a dozen young tourists from South Korea. Young people have many topics to talk about, and of course, they have many novel ideas. For example, this time, their request is very simple. They want to observe the golden eagle in Zhongshan Mausoleum alone at night. Although this idea was strange, Pei Yuan had seen more tourists with absurd ideas. Compared with them, this was just a difficult request. Of course, they can't stay in the park. Pei Yuan provides them with tents for the night. They can only camp on the adjacent hill in the afternoon. When the tourists leave, they can get close to the golden eagle in the evening. Finally, when the tourists leave, the moon climbs over the willow trees. These Korean tourists are in high spirits. Someone takes out a high-power telescope and looks at the golden eagle resting on the archway of Zhongshan Mausoleum. The golden eagle in the high-power telescope is shining on its golden feathers, which adds a little gentleness to its awe-inspiring appearance. The Korean man leading the group had a full beard, and he stared at the camera with joy. Goldie is very sensitive. It stares at the direction of the hill, and its eagle eyes are full of arrogance. The bearded man murmured something. Because he spoke too fast, Pei Yuan could only speak simple Korean, so he didn't hear what the bearded man said. Such a majestic golden eagle should belong to our Republic of Korea. A Korean woman in her 20s takes a deep breath. She stares at the golden eagle on the archway with her beautiful big eyes greedily. He just didn't know if his eyelids were cut. Pei Yuan thinks to himself unkindly. He starts to regret leading this tour group. In the past 2 years, the Koreans had become more and more arrogant and moronic. It was one thing for them to apply for the Dragon Boat Festival as a World Heritage Site, but they claimed that everything they saw belonged to them. Even Confucius had Korean blood in him. Hearing the Korean woman's yelling, Pei Yuan has a bad feeling. Fortunately, the golden eagle has settled down in the Zhongshan Mausoleum and will not leave. Otherwise, according to the Koreans' thinking, the golden eagle will have Korean blood if it flies around the airspace of Korea. As soon as he had this thought, he suddenly realized that something was wrong. Why is everyone else silent? Pei Yuan is relieved when he finds that they set up a camera and take out their mobile phones to shoot. Pei Yuan doesn't need to explain at this time, so he takes out the latest camera phone bought by the tour guide and prepares to take some pictures of the golden eagles under the moonlight as a souvenir of this tour guide. Pei Yuan was just about to put away his phone when he looked at the Korean beside him. He couldn't help but let out a soft exclamation. In Pei Yuan's eyes, the camera frame they have set up has become a prototype of a gun. Not good. These Koreans must be up to no good. Pei Yuan quickly makes a judgment in his mind. Should he pretend not to know, or should he get involved? Reason tells Pei Yuan that it is the best strategy to pretend not to know their purpose and wait for a chance to report the case. However, college students like him are all hot-blooded at the critical moment. It is impossible for him to be rational. Besides, when Pei Yuan is hesitating for a few seconds, the stupid Korean woman turns around and says to him with a faint smile, "Mr. Pei, it is better not to see some things." Pei Yuan smiles reluctantly. These Koreans really want to get the golden eagle. Do they want to kill it or to keep it alive? How can they transport it back to China if it is alive? There must be a mole colluding with them. Such a big golden eagle can never go out without a mole, damn it. What should he do now? Pei Yuan now realizes that it is a big mistake not to learn some self-defense skills. Unfortunately, it is too late at this moment. The bearded man has already picked up the long barrel and aims at the golden eagle. It doesn't look like a weapon of mass destruction, but more like a tranquilizer gun. Pei Yuan steps forward and the big-eyed Korean woman also steps forward and stands beside him. They are ready to stop him at any time. Pei Yuan could only watch the anesthetic needle, which was thicker and longer than an embroidery needle, shoot the needle tube at the golden eagle. Dodge it. Pei Yuan is short of breath. As a student in Jinling, he has heard many rumors about the golden eagle. Pei Yuan believes that this brave golden eagle can dodge it. Why doesn't it dodge? Pei Yuan is puzzled. In fact, for Goldie, the tranquilizer gun is even more useless than a mosquito. It used to be a strange bird that was not afraid of the golden blade spell, a middle-rank training chi spell of the nature of gold. How can it care about this ordinary iron tranquilizer gun? However, this was still a provocation to him. Lin Luoran once told Goldie not to hurt human beings at will, but she never said that it can't fight back when provoked. Little Gold spread its wings and was about to fly over to kill these zerglings that dared to provoke the majesty of the Golden Hawk. However, a familiar aura suddenly appeared, causing Little Gold to stop flapping its wings. This is... Goldie is at a loss. It has been waiting for this moment for 3 years. Maybe it is just an illusion. Pei Yuan screams. The Bangzi hold the guns in their hands and feel nervous. Why does a person suddenly appear? A slender hand casually caught the anesthetic needle and threw it on the ground. Under the moonlight, Lin Luoran's face is blurry. However, Goldie will never mistake her for its master because of the connection in the depths of her soul and the isolation of the blood pool in the dungeon. She is back. Goldie, who has become more and more dignified recently, instantly turns back into the silly, cunning, and spoiled eagle. It stands still and waits for Lin Luoran to come closer. The Koreans don't see how Lin Luoran catches the tranquilizer gun. They think that someone comes out to steal the golden eagle. They are so angry that they take out their long-range guns and are about to shoot the person. However, they find that the blurry figure in the moonlight jumps into the air. This is impossible. The bearded man grabs the binoculars. Obviously, this person is going to steal their golden eagle with the help of a grappling hook. What the bearded man sees through the binoculars makes him stunned. It is really jumping into the air. Judging from the fluttering clothes, it is a woman. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to pay attention to those little fleas. After 3 years, she can see Goldie in the blood pool. No one is more emotional than her. 3 years and countless times of life and death have made Lin Luoran realize the impermanence of life. She works harder and cherishes her life more. Goldie. Lin Luoran jumps to the top of the archway. Goldie lowers its head and Lin Luoran puts her face on its neck. She almost cries. Goldie also turns its neck to rub Lin Luoran's cheek. The reunion of the master and the servant is very warm. However, a few bullets from the opposite side break the warm atmosphere. The bullets hit Goldie's wings and are blocked. Gold feathers are much harder than steel plates. It is a piece of cake for Goldie to block these bullets. Lin Luoran's eyes are full of killing intent. After being eaten in the blood pool for 3 years, she is lucky that she didn't become a devil. However, she is still a little angry and cruel. Lin Luoran gets on Goldie's back. Goldie flaps its wings and comes to the top of the hill in the blink of an eye. It is so fast that the people on the opposite side don't even have time to react. Looking down from a few meters above the crowd, Lin Luoran hears a bearded man talking. Most people have watched Korean dramas. Lin Luoran can tell that the Koreans are bashful and want to pretend to be magnanimous in Korean. First, they attack Goldie, then they shoot randomly. If these people are good people, then who is bad in the world? Lin Luoran doesn't want to know why they are here. She flicks her right hand and a destructive whack-and goes into the body of the bearded man who is holding the gun. The bearded man falls to the ground. The others react and want to fight back. However, Lin Luoran knocks down all the people who try to fight back. This is the spiritual power, which is different from the spiritual power that went into Mu Tiannan's body before. The destructive power of the two is more than one level higher. The most important thing is that although there is only a trace of this tricky spiritual power, it will stay in their bodies until they die and will not dissipate. It is a bit like the life and death notes of Tian Shan Tong Lao. Now there is only a man who looks like a student. As soon as Lin Luoran raises her hand, the boy shouts, "I am from Huaxia. I am a student of Jinling University of Aeronautics and Astronautics. I am not with them." Lin Luoran says calmly, "Since you are from Huaxia, why are you colluding with these foreign fleas?" Pei Yuan is in a daze because of the woman in ancient costume who is riding on a golden hawk and suspected to be the goddess of heaven. If it is not related to his life, he will even forget to speak for a while. His eloquence as a tour guide saves him at this critical moment. Pei Yuan explains the situation to Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran says to herself, "Killing people scares this student. Hey, I say, hand them over to the police. Can you do that?" Pei Yuan nods. Lin Luoran doesn't care whether they will be bailed out or not. Anyway, when the tricky wacken in these people is activated, they will die. At this moment, Lin Luoran is eager to go home. She is not in the mood to talk to this ordinary student. She has been through life and death, so she is more casual. Things like disturbing the secular world should be left to the so-called special departments and the decent schools. It has nothing to do with her. Lin Luoran touches Goldie's neck. Goldie spreads its wings, which are 7 or 8 meters long, covering the moonlight. Pei Yuan shouts, "Fairy." Lin Luoran sits on the hawk's back and turns her face to him. For some reason, Pei Yuan presses the button to open the door. It is just a trifle for Lin Luoran. Goldie disappears in the sky as fast as lightning. Pei Yuan takes the mobile phone and looks at it carefully. The handsome and heroic appearance of the golden hawk is clearly visible. Although the side of the beauty in the ancient costume is blurred, it cannot cover up her temperament. She really looks like a goddess in heaven when the silk ribbons are flying in the air. Pei Yuan is at a loss. A moan of a Korean under his feet makes him come back to himself. He calls the police first. While waiting for the police, Pei Yuan struggles in his heart and posts the photo on Weibo. The mysterious hawk of Huaxia is waiting for her. Pei Yuan is like a butterfly flapping its wings. At this moment, he has never thought that the barrier between ordinary people and cultivators in Huaxia will change so much just because he flaps his wings. Photoshopped? Soon, there is a reply on Weibo. Pei Yuan says decisively that everyone is welcome to verify it. After being identified by a group of professional photographers, the photos of Lin Luoran turning around on the back of the hawk quickly become a hot topic on all the forums and websites. Although many people still doubt the authenticity of the photos, more people regard Lin Luoran as the otherworldly Xiaolongnu created by Jin Yong. In this era, how can there be a person in ancient costume riding a giant hawk? The world that we live in from 9 to 5, is it going to return to the mythical world in one night? Many people are panicking, but they are also looking forward to it. The mythical world of Huaxia, with its boundless wilderness and strange beasts, and the chance of immortality, why don't people look forward to it? Lin Luoran doesn't know what is happening. Under the boundless moonlight, she can feel Goldie's progress in the past 3 years. Goldie's current speed is comparable to that of a plane. Goldie is flying in a straight line, so it should be faster than taking a plane. Lin Luoran calculates the time. She will see her family and friends after 3 years in an hour. Lin Luoran touches Goldie's back, and there is a smile and expectation on her face. At the same time, the sky of our city is lit up by lightning, and the first thunder strikes. Such a thunderstorm is rare in years, and the internet is even cut off for a while. Lin Luoran is full of expectation, but she doesn't know what kind of danger her family is in now. Chapter 161. The black MPV runs on the highway in a thunderstorm. Soon, it arrives at the gate of the villa. The woman in black, who has been smiling silently, suddenly changes her expression. "Master." Zhou Yaowei sees her expression and thinks that the new arm is rejecting her. The woman in black soon calms down. I won't show up. You go and deal with it yourself. If something goes wrong, act according to the situation. Why are all the so-called righteous people around the Lin's house? The woman in black felt a little uneasy. Even though her devil magic gave her an advantage in fights of magical powers, she wasn't arrogant enough to think that she could use the blood escape technique to escape safely from the encirclement of 4 Foundation establishment cultivators. Besides, there were some people here that the woman in black really didn't want to see. Zhou Yaowei nodded and didn't think too much about it. His master was quite nice to him. As for what would happen, Zhou Yaowei's anger didn't allow him to think about it. The woman in black's power was not because Zhou Yaowei was a frog in a well. Zhou Yaowei gets out of the car and walks into the villa through the front gate. He has a good reason. He is here to visit a friend. Who is this friend? Miss Ellie of Fortune House, the tenant of number 7 villa. Through the woman in black, the Zhou family condescends to get acquainted with the AI family. Taking advantage of the relationship between the Zhou family and the AI family, Ellie successfully takes over the business of Fortune House and becomes the new chairman. Ellie has met Zhou Yaowei twice, the only son of the Zhou family. She has no idea that Zhou Yaowei is going to attack the Lins. Ellie is still waiting for Zhou Yaowei's visit happily. Meanwhile, Zhou Yaowei is walking slowly along the mountain road to the Lin's house. For Zhou Yaowei, who has just recovered, it is still a bit difficult for him to walk on the mountain. It takes a lot of effort for him to walk for a while. The more difficult it is, the more he hates Lin Luoran for turning him into a useless person. Although the black-robed woman had promised to help him recover his cultivation, how precious was the 4 years of a person's youth. Zhou Yaowei is full of hatred. He has never thought that Lin Luoran would not have done this to him if he was not so vicious. Zhou Yaowei walks across the lake and enters the villa of Lin's family. The cultivators around look at each other. The woman in black can sense the presence of cultivators in the level of laying foundation. They can also sense the presence of the evil cultivator. Exorcise demons? What a joke. With Huizhu here, they can't really kill her. They'd better wait patiently to be the savior of the Lin family. The rain was getting heavier, hitting the glass walls of the Lin's villa, making pitter-patter sounds. Zhou Yaowei didn't even take a look at his subordinate, who was lying on the ground in the yard and could barely breathe because of the iron thorns. Zhou Yaowei walked straight into the house. On the other side, Baojia and the others were pointed at by 2 guns, so they huddled together. The spiritual aura in Mount Qingcheng was much better than that in the city. She hoped to take advantage of this time to recover a little and launch a great counterattack. Zhou Yaowei came in when she was thinking about counterattacking the necromancer. Baojia's face turns pale. Zhou Yaowei will not give her a chance to fight back. Baojia, we meet again. Zhou Yaowei has a smile on his face. He calls Baojia his sister just like he did in the years before his real identity is exposed. However, it was Zhou Yaowei who hit him with a car 3 years ago. What did she do wrong? She had merely rejected him. It was also the Zhou family that forced Grandpa to retire. If Baojia said she hated Zhou Yaowei the most, no one would dare to say they hated Zhou Yaowei the most. Especially now, Zhou Yaowei is going to attack the Lin family again. Hearing Zhou Yaowei calling her sister, Baojia glares at Zhou Yaowei. Zhou Yaowei swaggers on the sofa of the Lin family. Looking at Baojia's angry face, he feels like a cat playing with a mouse. I heard that Baojia is also a cultivator. You are becoming more and more beautiful. It's a pity that you are still suppressed by a useless man like me. What Baojia said was normal, but Zhou Yaowei made it sound obscene. Baojia's eyes turn red. For a moment, she really wants to kill Zhou Yaowei with a blow. But how did the saying go? Apart from your friends, the ones who understand you the most are your enemies. Zhou Yaowei looks at Baojia's expression disapprovingly. He points at Luodong who is hidden behind the 3 of them. I advise you not to act rashly, Baojia. Zhou Yaowei's eyes are full of lust. He is not a lecher. He is just a man facing a woman he can't wait to be with. He suddenly takes the dominant position. The only way to satisfy Zhou Yaowei is to take revenge in the most direct and cruel way for this woman to humiliate him. After humiliating her, should he refine elixirs, or use her as a long-term stove? This is a problem to consider. Zhou Yaowei becomes more and more proud of himself. He steps forward and touches Baojia's face frivolously. He is very satisfied with the delicate touch. Mr. Lin, who has been forbearing for 3 years, can't stand it anymore when he sees Baojia, who is like his second daughter, being flirted with. He makes a move. Bang! One of Zhou Yaowei's men shoots through Mr. Lin's arm. Mr. Lin. Old man, Dad. Dad, 3 screams are heard. Mrs. Lin is in tears and Luodong is terrified. He remembers the days when he was abused before he was saved by Lin and Luodong. The bullet not only pierces through Mr. Lin's arm, but also hits his tendon. If he doesn't get treatment in time, Mr. Lin's right hand will be disabled. You don't know what's good for you. Zhou Yaowei pulls out another gun and shoots at Mr. Lin. No. Baojia can't stop crying. She cries. After the gunshot, there is blood all over the ground. Mr. Lin curls up and rolls on the ground. It turns out that Zhou Yaowei only shot his limbs. Although his body is covered with blood, it is not fatal. Zhou Yaowei, you will die a horrible death. Baojia bites her lips so hard that they are bleeding. Zhou Yaowei is not so kind. He will never stop until he tortures the Lin family and herself. It's better to die. Baojia thinks desperately. Before she dies, she wants to drag Zhou Yaowei down with her. She doesn't care about Zhou Yaowei's death or what will happen to the Lin family. Anyway, Zhou Yaowei will not let them go. A small mass of Reiki is gathering in Baojia's body. If she pushes Zhou Yaowei into the water, she is sure that she can drown Zhou Yaowei before the 2 gunmen kill her. When Mr. Lin is injured, Master Gua is about to help but is stopped by Master Mu. Master Gua, let me do it. These so-called cultivators don't even have the basic conscience. They work so hard to beg for the Tao of nature. How can such people succeed? Master Mu can't stand by and watch. Even if he has to ruin Huizhu's plan, he doesn't care about his good reputation. A mass of fire appears in his hand. He just needs to point at the scumbags in the room and they will be turned into ashes. Huizhu looks at Master Mu with dissatisfaction. Master Mu pretends not to see it. He moves his fingers slightly and the fire is about to pour down. In the thunder, there comes a hawk's cry. Master Mu's hand stops for a second. In the pouring rain and the roaring thunder, he is not the only one who hears the hawk's cry. All the cultivators temporarily put down the Lin family and looked up at the sky. The sound of the eagle was secondary. They also felt an aura that only a foundation-building cultivator could have. The hawk flies freely in the lightning and comes to the top of the villa in a moment. Under the heavy rain, the person on the hawk is covered with a layer of hazy light, which keeps the rain away. This eagle was clearly the golden eagle. Needless to say, that person. The lightning lightens up half of the sky. As the golden hawk approaches, the face of the person on the back is clearly visible. The face is brighter, the momentum is stronger, and the eyes are full of confidence. It is Lin Luoran who has successfully laid foundation. On Goldie's back, Lin Luoran nods to Master Mu and the others. Her spiritual mind is much stronger than that of cultivators at the same level. Lin Luoran senses the breath of her enemy, the woman in black, from a distance. She is alarmed and comes to the top of the villa immediately. The rain can't cover the smell of blood and the cultivators who are watching the show. Lin Luoran guesses that something must have happened to the Lin family. Of course, she sees the fireball spell that Master Mu is about to use. Lin Luoran is not an ungrateful person, so she won't blame Master Mu for being too late. Those who can help the Lin family must be people she approves. Especially today, 3 years later, people may think that she is dead. Lin Luoran jumps off Goldie's back and flies into the house like a light smoke. Huizhu has been silent, and so has the others. Didn't they say that the girl of the Lin family is dead? In just 3 years, she is not dead but has successfully laid foundation. Those who have evil thoughts are shocked. Lin Luoran's gorgeous return has shocked them. However, the greed in their hearts can't be extinguished even in the rainy night. Is it because of her master or because she has a powerful treasure? Fortunately, no matter which one it is, they haven't done anything to the Lin family yet. Things can still be covered up and it is not too late to mend the relationship. These cultivators think that they are right. Seeing that Lin Luoran is back, Master Mu and Master Gua are no longer worried and leave. Only Huizhu's mind was clear. These things probably couldn't be covered up anymore. The peaceful days of giving books and returning wine are gone forever. Huizhu's Taoist heart is far stronger than that of ordinary cultivators. Otherwise, he wouldn't be the only one who has reached the late stage of laying foundation on the earth. He wants to advance. What's wrong with that? Lin Luoran is not in the mood to care about what these people think. She flies into the house like a light smoke. What she sees is Mr. Lin lying in a pool of blood, Mrs. Lin's tears, Luodong's fear, and Baojia's resolute calmness. The momentum of Lin Luoran makes everyone quiet down at the same time before they can see her clearly. They all turn their eyes to her. What a beautiful woman. Zhou Yaowei's men are so fascinated by her that they forget to tell whether she is a friend or a foe. Is that Luoran? They haven't seen each other for 3 years and Luodong is terrified. It takes him a while to recognize his sister. Mrs. Lin and Baojia are already in tears. It's not that they are too weak. It's just that they have been under pressure for 3 years. 3 years of waiting, disappointment, longing, and the fear that their family may be dead. At this moment, they are all in tears. Zhou Yaowei steps back and almost falls down. Impossible. You are dead. Seeing the situation at home, Lin Luoran understands everything. The joy of reuniting with her family has turned into anger in this special, welcome party. She gently holds Luodong in her arms. A burst of woodwacken flows into Luodong's body. The frightened boy soon falls asleep. What Lin Luoran is going to do next will be very bloody. Lin Luoran doesn't want a kid to be exposed to these things at such an early stage. Zhou Yaowei shoots Lin Luoran several times. The bullets don't even get close to Lin Luoran. Zhou Yaowei turns around and tries to run away. However, a gust of wind closes the door, taking away the guns in his men's hands. Zhou Yaowei's heart turns cold. However, Lin Luoran is smiling coldly. Zhou Yaowei, do you want me dead so that you can do whatever you want? Lin Luoran moves her right hand slightly. A stream of wacken shoots at Zhou Yaowei's arm faster than a bullet. Bang! A bloody hole appears on Zhou Yaowei's arm. The bones of his hand hang down. If I die, you can do whatever you want to my family. 2 wacken bullets fly out. Bang! Bang! This time, they hit Zhou Yaowei's left arm and thigh. Zhou Yaowei is paralyzed on the ground. The sharp pain makes his face twist. Shooting through other people's limbs gives him a perverted sense of satisfaction. However, when it comes to himself, it hurts so much. Lin Luoran takes 2 steps forward and looks down at Mr. Zhou, who is now a pile of rotten meat. Lin Luoran smiles charmingly like a man-eating flower, but, what should I do? I came back alive. Chapter 162. In order to respond to the call of the readers in the book review section and avoid further resentment towards Bao, today there are 2 chapters. Wow, Zhou Yaowei is now a pile of rotten meat. The scene is so bloody that Mrs. Lin is timid and she almost vomits. Lin Luoran restrains the 3 of them. She checks Mr. Lin's injury and takes out the bullets. Then she casts a healing spell of the wood. It is difficult to cast this spell in the later stage of training qi. Now, with wacken, which is one level higher than Reiki, it is effortless for her to cast it. Mr. Lin's bleeding stops and his wound is healing slowly from inside to outside. Spell is not magic and it can't regenerate flesh and bones. It can heal, but it is a slow process. Mr. Lin's condition looks serious, but it is actually just an external wound. He will recover in a day or two. After treating Mr. Lin and comforting Mrs. Lin, Lin Luoran sends the three of them back to their bedroom. Then she has time to deal with Zhou Yaowei and his men. The heavy rain that had been raining for half the night had stopped. The moon rises out of the clouds again, shining on Mount Qingqing which has been washed clean by the rain. Seeing that Lin Luoran kicks out all the people, including those who were restrained by Baojia and the others, out of the yard, the onlookers stop pretending and come to say hello. Fellow Taoist Lin, congratulations on reaching the level of laying foundation. It is Qin Yun, the minister of the special department who has been working for a long time. Now that Lin Luoran is in the laying foundation phase, she is no longer someone they can call girl. However, Qin Yun is too embarrassed to do so. Although he takes the initiative to greet Lin Luoran, he calls her fellow Taoist instead of school sister. Lin Luoran just smiles and doesn't care about such trifles. Calling her doesn't matter. As her level of cultivation increases, she may not even want to talk to these people if they want to call her sister. Because Qin Yun has set the tone, the head of the Wen family also calls Lin Luoran fellow Taoist and invites her to visit the Wen family in Zhu Mountain a few days later. He also mentions that Wen Guanjing is on a mission in Egypt at the moment. The Wen family, who is the closest to Lin Luoran, is excluded as ignorant. Qin Yun's eyes lit up as he chimed in. He is Wen Guanjing's teacher and friend, and his relationship with Wen Guanjing is not much worse than that of the Wen family. Only a fool would not use a favor to ease the relationship. No matter what they say, Lin Luoran smiles and nods. She seems to be easy to talk to, but in fact, she is very cold. Huizhu and Lin Luoran just said, "Congratulations," casually. Even if Lin Luoran is dissatisfied with what they did tonight, she can't kill them one by one. She can only endure it. Moreover, she had another idea, which was to collect some interest from these people. Fellow Taoists, I've just returned home today, and I still have some family matters to attend to. It's a pity that I can't discuss the Tao with all of you under the moonlight. However, I've been in seclusion for 3 years, and I've gained some insight into the Tao of alchemy. I'm preparing to sell a batch of spirit pills in the next few days, and I'll announce what I'm exchanging them for on the forum. Even Huizhu pays attention to Lin Luoran's words with a smiling face. Spirit pills. Cultivators are also human beings. They suffer from injuries, unstable states, and other problems just like ordinary people. It's not hard to imagine their desire for spirit pills. How many years had it been? Ever since the path of alchemy had disappeared, the number of spirit pills they possessed was truly one less after each use. They had long since run out of stock. Even Huizhu doesn't have high expectations for Lin Luoran's skill in alchemy, but he also hopes that Lin Luoran can make spirit pills that can help him break through the bottleneck of the level of laying foundation. Of course, Huizhu's idea is just to appease his hunger. Even if Lin Luoran can really make spirit pills, why should she help him to break through the level of bearing essence? It's like setting up a mountain for himself that he can never climb over. Only a fool would do that. Lin Luoran asks them to leave easily, and then announces the news that she is preparing to sell spirit pills. Even though they are driven away, they leave with a smile. As soon as the cultivators step out of the gate of Lin's villa, Lin Luoran checks on Zhou Yaowei, who has been ignored for a long time. TSK, in a situation where 3 of his limbs were destroyed and he couldn't stop the bleeding, he was still breathing. His vitality was indeed as shocking as a cockroach. You can't kill me. My master won't let you go. Zhou Yaowei's face is twisted, and he is barely breathing. If he doesn't mention the woman in black, Lin Luoran will only get angrier. After 3 years of being gnawed by the blood pool, even though she still succeeded in building her foundation. Without these 3 years, as long as she could concoct the foundation building pill, she could have built her foundation even faster and safer. At that time, the pain of having her flesh and blood gnawed by the blood pool, and the lifelong regret of losing her loved ones was not something that a yin's error and yang's mistake foundation building could easily forget. There is a small spell in the level of laying foundation called voice shaping. It is not difficult to make one's voice heard by another person within a distance of 10 miles. Lin Luoran casts a spell with her right hand, and the shadow of a conch appears on her fingers. Lin Luoran uses her spiritual mind to feel the location and says, "Your apprentice asked you to save him. Will you do it or not?" The woman in black giggles, "I can have as many apprentices as he is. Useless people don't deserve my help. Just kill him." The woman in black hangs up like hanging up the phone. Lin Luoran can feel that the MPV is leaving, but she doesn't chase after it. It would be best if she could get revenge as soon as possible. However, Lin Luoran doesn't do it because she is not 100% sure. At this moment, Lin Luoran knows how important she is to the Lin family. Her life is no longer a personal matter. If she is not sure that she can kill Zhou Yaowei with one strike, she won't show her real strength. Hearing the woman in black's words, Zhou Yaowei's face turns pale. He tries to calm down and tries to move with his broken limbs. "The Zhou family will never let you go, the Zhou family." The first thing that comes to Lin Luoran's mind is Mrs. Zhou, who was wearing a red suit in the corridor of the hospital when Baojiao was seriously injured. Lin Luoran already disliked the Zhou family back then. In this case, Lin Luoran has to kill Zhou Yaowei's parents as well. Lin Luoran is venting her anger on Zhou Yaowei. However, strictly speaking, it is not. There is a saying that goes, "If you don't teach your son well, you will ruin the whole family for the rest of your life." How can Zhou Yaowei's parents know nothing about this? Lin Luoran condenses a bullet of Reiki and pierces Zhou Yaowei's leg, which is still intact. She lowers her head and says, "Don't worry. The Zhou family will be with you soon." Zhou Yaowei's eyes are wide open. A ball of fire suddenly appears in Lin Luoran's hand. Zhou Yaowei's last thought is, how did the young master in the capital who indulged himself in debauchery end up like this? Of course, no one will answer Zhou Yaowei's question. As soon as the ball of fire touches Zhou Yaowei's body, it spreads all over his body. Weak and powerless, Zhou Yaowei only has time to cry before he is surrounded by the fire and turns into ashes. The cultivators who haven't walked far on the path in the forest frown. Lin Luoran seems to have changed a lot since she came back. She is a little cruel. Only a kind person can be bullied. This is not good news. Lin Luoran raises her head and looks at the direction where the cultivators are leaving. She sneers, "The master and his apprentice are hateful, but these hypocrites are not any better. Let's wait and see." Zhou Yaowei's henchmen can't move, but they can hear and see. What's more, they can see with their own eyes the power that goes against their common sense, and the little boss is killed. Zhou Yaowei's henchmen are so calm that they don't pee in their pants. Lin Luoran doesn't want to scare these small fries. She gives each of them a ball of fire. Seeing that his men are killed one by one, the leader closes his eyes in defeat. He waits for a long time, but Lin Luoran's ball of fire doesn't fall. He opens his eyes and sees that the evil woman has walked to the door. "Go back and tell Zhou Yaowei's parents to wait for me." A gust of wind blows. The leader rolls out of the gate of Lin's house like a rolling gourd. He stops when he is about to fall into the lake. This sudden survival almost makes him cry with joy. Although it is very likely that he will die if he goes back to the Zhou family, it is better than dying without a corpse. The leader gets up. He stumbles down the mountain as if he is being chased by a dog. Lin Luoran casts a cleaning spell, and gathers the blood stains in the house and the ashes of Zhou Yaowei's men into a ball. Lin Luoran sends the ball of fire away with the wind. The whole house becomes a clean and refreshing mountain villa again. Why does she inform the Zhou family? In fact, sometimes killing a person is not the most painful way. Compared with killing a person, Lin Luoran's dark side can be satisfied by letting them live in fear and fear before killing them. Has she become a bad person? Chapter 163. Because of the fright last night, Mrs. Lin doesn't wake up until 8:00 the next morning, which is obviously not in line with her biological clock. Mrs. Lin remembers the dream she had last night and feels ridiculous. Why did she dream that someone kidnapped them with a gun? However, at the end of the dream, her daughter suddenly falls from the sky. Mrs. Lin's eyes are full of tears again. So what if she is kidnapped? If she can really see her daughter who has been missing for 3 years, she will accept the nightmare. Mrs. Lin sighs. She looks at the time and then at Mr. Lin who is sleeping soundly next to her. She gets up quickly to make breakfast. However, when she opens the door, she smells the aroma of food. Mrs. Lin doesn't pay attention to it. Maybe Baojia got up and made breakfast. However, when she passes by Baojia's room, the door is ajar. Baojia is sleeping soundly in the quilt. Obviously, Baojia hasn't gotten up yet. Then who made breakfast? Is it Li Shi, or who ran out last night? Mrs. Lin immediately denies this possibility. Li Shi, is a quick learner, but she has no talent in cooking. The food tastes terrible. There is no way the aroma can be like this. Mrs. Lin holds the railing of the stairs and suddenly remembers the scene she thought was a dream. Could it be, Mrs. Lin feels that her steps are weak. Thinking that the dream may be true, she is both hopeful and afraid of greater disappointment. Holding the railing, Mrs. Lin walks down step by step. In the dining room, there is a plate of steamed buns, several bowls of congee with pork and century eggs, and several plates of side dishes. The aroma of food comes from the table. There is a clanging sound in the kitchen. After a while, Lin Luoran comes out with a plate of cucumbers. She says, "Mom," and her voice is choked with sobs. Mrs. Lin pinches her hand. It is not a dream. She steps forward, hugs Lin Luoran and bursts into tears. Lin Luoran tries hard to comfort her mother. Mr. Lin and Baojia also wake up. Finally, Luodong wakes up. When everyone calms down and sits down at the table, it is already half an hour later. Seeing that the congee and side dishes are cold, Mrs. Lin feels embarrassed and wipes away her tears. "I'll heat them up in the kitchen." Lin Luoran stops her mother. As a cultivator in the level of laying foundation, it is a piece of cake for her. Lin Luoran reaches out her hand, which is covered with a layer of faint red light. Her hand pauses on the porridge and steamed buns. Food that is hot but not too hot is just right. There is no rule in the Lin family that no one should talk while eating. During the meal, they talk about what happened in the past 3 years. Since Luodong is here, they don't mention what happened last night or ask what happened to Zhou Yaowei and the others. Commander Qin, retired due to illness. Sister Wang gave birth to a daughter, and now she spends most of her time in Villa No. 17, which is not far from the Lin family. Chu Yi went back to his school, but Li Shi, disappeared last night. There are some good and bad news. Lin Luoran sensitively notices that her family has been very careful in the past 3 years when she was away. Don't let this happen again. Lin Luoran makes up her mind. However, she can't protect her family day by day. The best way is to improve the strength of Mr. Lin and Baojia as soon as possible. Lin Luoran's idea of selling boluses to those cultivators last night is not just a whim. She laid in the blood pool and successfully laid foundation at the end of the 2nd year. However, because Reiki in her body hasn't been completely transformed, she can't even move, let alone come out. What can she do by lying in bed for a year? Apart from studying the cultivation materials in her mind, Lin Luoran also has to think about the cultivation of Mr. Lin and Baojia. This is the real world of cultivation, not an online game or a novel. Taking boluses can help them level up quickly, but if they don't have a good foundation in the early stage, it will be more difficult for them to level up in the future. Therefore, Lin Luoran is willing to exchange some low-level boluses for things that Mr. Lin, Baojia, and even herself can use. After breakfast, Lin Luoran checks on her father's injury. The wound has already scabbed and his blood is gradually returning to normal. Lin Luoran is relieved. She doesn't know when Lin Luoran has become the backbone of the Lin family. With her in the family, everyone feels at ease. Mrs. Lin is satisfied with her daughter. The only thing she worries about is Li Shi, who went missing last night. Thinking of the cultivators last night, Lin Luoran guesses that Li Shi, must have been taken away by her master. Lin Luoran is not worried about her safety. After comforting her mother, Lin Luoran sighs. Time is the best instrument to test everything. Baojia, Wang Miao Yi and her husband, and Li Shi, whom she has experienced life and death within the secret land, are still so devoted to the Lin family. Lin Luoran wants to be friends with them for the rest of her life. Lin Luoran will never let down those who are sincere to the Lin family. Lin Luoran looks at the blooming flowers in the garden. The fruit trees are full of red peaches and the walls are covered with iron thorns. Home is the warmest and most comfortable place. Lying under the vines, Lin Luoran looks at Luodong, who is standing beside her and doesn't want to leave. Luodong, who is 12 years old now, is growing taller. His round face is becoming sharper. He has changed from a boy with a bun face to a handsome young man. Lin Luoran misses the days when she could pinch his cheeks. Although Luodong's appearance has changed a lot, he is still the shy boy he used to be. Mrs. Lin tells Luodong that he is doing very well in school and is planning to skip grade 6. Finally, he has caught up with his peers. Are you used to school? Lin Luoran sighs at her irresponsibility as an adopter and asks Luodong how he feels. The boy hesitates for a while and realizes that Lin Luoran is asking him, Very good. It was really good. Nowadays, he didn't have to go hungry, he didn't have to be beaten, and he didn't have to suffer from the cold. He could even sit in a spacious classroom and study with his peers. More importantly, compared to before, he had family. With all these, it doesn't matter if he is unhappy at school. Seeing the hesitation in Luodong's eyes, Lin Luoran sighs. Luodong must have been through a lot. Though he is shy, he is more sensible than other kids of his age. If Luodong were not so young, Lin Luoran might have been fooled by his words. It seems that Lin Luoran needs to go to his school secretly. There is also the trip she owes Luodong 3 years ago. Lin Luoran has a lot of things to do when she comes home. Sister, can I learn magic spells? The adults don't mention it, but it doesn't mean that Luodong has forgotten what happened last night. He is a young man. How can he wait for Sister Baojia and Sister Lin to protect him every time? It turns out that Luodong has been guarding Lin Luoran because of this. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Luodong thinks that he is charming. Luodong has been curious about cultivation since he was a kid. He has the single Taoist root of the earth. If Lin Luoran doesn't teach him cultivation, it will be unreasonable. However, facing Luodong's expectation, Lin Luoran shakes her head slowly. Luodong is disappointed. Sure enough, he is just an adopted kid. How can he learn magic spells so casually? Looking at his face, Lin Luoran knows that this sensitive kid is thinking too much. She explains, you can't learn it now. You can decide when you are 18. Luodong's eyes light up again. Lin Luoran laughs. She doesn't mean to tease him. It's just that the road of cultivation is difficult. Even she is still groping for it. She doesn't know what the road ahead of her is, it is a thorny road. Without great perseverance, determination, and luck, how far can one go? Luodong is adopted by the Lin family. Of course, it is his lucky chance. However, Lin Luoran hopes that when Luodong is older and able to take responsibility for his life, Luodong can choose whether to cultivate or not. Lin Luoran doesn't want Luodong, who she regards as her younger brother, to regret the choice he made when he was young when he felt the danger of cultivation. She doesn't want Luodong to regret the choice he made when he was still young. Life is so short. If one day Lin Luodong chooses not to cultivate, Lin Luoran can make him rich and have no worries about food and clothing. Isn't that a better life? As for Mrs. Lin's Taoist root, Lin Luoran worries about it. Lin Luoran is now in a dilemma. She can choose whether she wants to be like Luodong or not. Mr. Lin and her daughter are both cultivating. Without Mrs. Lin, even Lin Luoran can't accept it, let alone Mr. Lin. Lin Luoran is still thinking when she hears a bell-like laughter from the door. She is so absorbed in her thoughts that she doesn't notice that someone is at the door. A little girl in a pink dress giggles and rushes to Lin Luoran. No, to be exact, she rushes into Luodong's arms. The young man peeks at Lin Luoran and pinches the little girl's face. Two adults are standing at the door, looking at Lin Luoran in disbelief. They are Wang Miao, Yi and her husband, who were invited to dinner by Mrs. Lin but didn't tell them the truth on purpose. Fatty Chui rubs his eyes. Honey, am I sleepy? Wang Miao, Yi pinches Fatty Chui with red eyes. She steps forward and doesn't know what to say. After a while, she says, I'm glad you're back. Their friendship turns into this simple greeting. The little girl looks at the new beautiful aunt curiously and looks at Fatty Chui in confusion. Fatty Chui feels so proud and quickly takes over his 2-year-old daughter from Luodong's arms. Luodong is so good at deceiving his innocent daughter with cuteness. Tuanzi, this is Aunt Lin. Fatty Chui is under pressure to teach his daughter to call Lin Luoran aunt. Lin Luoran is getting younger and younger. She looks like she is in her early 20s. Lin Luoran looks at Fatty Chui's hesitant look and smiles. Brother Chui, the jade boxes I ordered 3 years ago should have arrived by now, right? Wang Miao, Yi smiles through tears and Fatty Chui scratches his head, assuring that the Chui's jade shop is trustworthy. Chapter 164. Lin Luoran gets the jade box from Fatty Chui the next day. However, during the 3 years when she was lying at the bottom of the blood pool, the 100-year-old Polygonum multiflorum is more than 1,200 years old. Polygonum multiflorum over 100 years old is between a tonic and a spirit medicine. Lin Luoran sells it on a large scale. She is lucky to find a batch of white-year-old wild Polygonum multiflorum, but it is not unbelievable. Moreover, she just came out of the secret land, so it is reasonable for her to get something from the medicine dealer. However, a batch of 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum. Lin Luoran doesn't even dare to think about it. In this day and age, no one has a batch of 1,000-year-old spirit medicine. She doesn't need to take it out. As long as she leaks the news, those cultivators who have finally given up will be greedy again. They will destroy the small Lin family regardless of anything else. Lin Luoran's personal ability is between the early stage of laying foundation and the magical effect of the clear sight. She still can't see through Huizhu's personal ability. Therefore, she is almost sure that Huizhu is at least in the late stage of laying foundation. As for whether he has completed the laying foundation or not, Lin Luoran doesn't know. Never underestimate any enemy. The suffering in the blood pool has made Lin Luoran mature a lot. She would like to see Huizhu as a mountain marked with the personal ability of the late stage of laying foundation. It is always right to imagine the mountain to be steeper and make better preparations for climbing the mountain. As for the woman in black, Lin Luoran purses her lips. Although the woman in black is powerful, her personal ability is not beyond the middle stage of laying foundation. That night, it seems that Huizhu only wanted to capture her. He didn't want to kill her, so he was restrained by the woman in black and ended in a tie. The relationship between Huizhu and the woman in black is something unclear and inexplicable. Lin Luoran is smiling. In fact, she is calmly thinking about the relationship between the people she knows, their strength, and their relationship with her friend or foe. If they don't fight in the blood pool, the woman in black will lose the strange geographical advantage. Lin Luoran is confident that she can take her down, but she needs to make a good plan. Rice should be eaten one bite at a time. Lin Luoran ponders for a while and comes up with an idea. She doesn't know if it will work, but she has to try it, right? Lin Luoran takes a deep breath and pulls back her mind from these dark plans. What she had done, she had a clear conscience. Revenge and protecting her family were important, but she couldn't be trapped in such a state of mind all day long. This was detrimental to one's cultivation. Because of the change of the fleece flower, Lin Luoran has the idea of selling the spirit medicine. When the rich hid their gold, they would break it up into smaller pieces. A large piece of gold was bright and eye-catching, but if it was all exchanged for silver, it wouldn't be so eye-catching. The 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum was very eye-catching, but if all of them were refined into elixirs, apart from the use of one's own family members, who would know what year the elixir's raw materials were refined from? It was common sense in alchemy that a 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum was equivalent to 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum. To put it bluntly, if a 100-year-old Polygonum multiflorum could be refined into 10 nourishing chi boluses, then a 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum of the same size could be refined into 100 nourishing chi boluses. Of course, except for Lin Luoran, who dared not to use the treasures openly, no one would use the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine to refine low-level elixirs such as nourishing chi boluses. The reason was simple. It was easy to use the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine to exchange for 1,000-year-old ones, but when one really wanted to refine high-level elixirs, even a 100-year-old spirit medicine couldn't make up for the special effect of the 1,000-year-old spirit medicine. Lin Luoran pondered for a while, and a confident smile appeared on her lips. Now that she had seen their true colors, she wouldn't be a fool like the boy of wealth. The elixirs she sold must be exchanged with materials. What could they exchange with? Jade. Jade. And only jade materials. These things contain a lot of reiki. As long as they are not special warm jade or cold jade, they are the only things in the world that can be absorbed by the Taoist root regardless of the nature. It must be a gift from God to cultivators. It's a pity that the Tao of heaven is in chaos, and this gift is as unstable as a bomb. That's why cultivators have to practice hard without elixirs or spirit stones. Violent reiki? Lin Luoran glanced at the bead. This is not a problem for her at all. As long as there are enough jade materials, the artificial spirit stones that Lin Luoran transforms in one night should be enough for Mr. Lin and Baojia to practice for a long time. Lin Luoran originally planned to collect them by herself, but now she has figured it out. Why not become a farm owner? She only needs to pay a small reward, and countless cultivators will go to find jade materials for her. As for how many forces from the state of Huaxia will come to Myanmar, and whether the world of jade will be reshuffled, it has nothing to do with her. So what if she is considerate of others? Kindness will only make others feel that she is weak and easy to bully. She might as well be a black-hearted merchant for once. There is another thing that makes Lin Luoran happy. With her success in laying foundation, the space has expanded by 2 plots, and the planting area has reached 1 acre. Lin Luoran now plans to do the elixir business. The original plan remains unchanged, and the extra 2 plots of land will be used to plant spirit herbs and spirit medicine. She couldn't be a fool for the rest of her life. When the new spirit herbs could be used as medicine, she would be able to replace the older ones. In this way, she could plant them one after another. Only in this way could she not waste the spirit herbs and make the best use of the space. Speaking of spirit herbs, Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that she has posted 2 posts on the forum. Now she only has the newly planted fleece flower and the 1,000-year-old fleece flower. She doesn't have the 100-year-old fleece flower for exchange. She quickly logs into the forum. Her account and password are still correct, but the 2 posts have already sunk to the bottom. Come to think of it, everyone thinks that she is dead. Naturally, the trading posts she posted are impossible to fulfill. Lin Luoran doesn't want to miss anything, so she reads the posts about exchanging the 100-year-old fleece flower. As expected, most of the replies are useless. Only a few are useful. Some replies tentatively ask Sister Lin what she wants, but she doesn't reply for a long time, so they give up. Of course, there are also some young people who entered the secret land with her. They are worried and ask if Lin Luoran is safe. Calculating the time, it should have been the second year after her accident. Lin Luoran doesn't know them well in the secret land. She is satisfied to have a greeting from them. Maybe the young cultivators nowadays are not as cunning and realistic as the old ones. Lin Luoran reads the post, butterfly bush flower for exchange, with a faint smile. An inconspicuous reply catches her attention. Sister Lin, I know a place where there are butterfly bush flower, but how old do you need? He answers carefully and timidly. Lin Luoran guesses that the butterfly bush flower he knows is not old. Lin Luoran doesn't care about the age. Although she doesn't know whether there are butterfly bush flowers in the place he mentioned, Lin Luoran sends a private message to the person with the ID, Tofu. Lin Luoran has laid the foundation, but she is not the only cultivator in her family anymore. She still needs to collect the herbs for the foundation-laying bolus. Lin Luoran doesn't feel urgent. Lin Luoran opens a new post. This time, the title is very sensational, pre-sale of low-rank bolus is hot. Pre-order as soon as possible. The main post explains the exchange of jade materials for bolus and notes that it is just an advertisement post. How to exchange the bolus depends on the quality of the jade. Jade can be bought with money, let alone looking for it herself. But bolus? Low-rank cultivators who read this post can't help but take a deep breath. Today's cultivation world is different from before. The news of Lin Luoran's return has been known by everyone, not to mention the elders of her school, but also the hottest picture on the internet. However, Sister Lin. Oh, she should be called Master Lin now. Master Lin posts such an exciting post as soon as she comes back. It is so exciting. Those who were a bit dumb still replied in the thread and asked more questions. Those who were a bit smarter turned off their computers and ran out of the training place that they usually couldn't bear to move to. They immediately booked tickets to the border of Myanmar. Marshal Uncle Lin was going to exchange elixirs for jadeite. Oh no, the price of jadeite was going to rise. Lin Luoran doesn't know how these low-rank cultivators feel, nor does she have time to look at the hot photo on the internet. After posting the post, she is ready to start the first step of her little plan. She picks up her phone and calls Grandpa Mu, who has returned to the capital. Grandpa Mu, this is Linny. Chapter 165. Are you looking for an eminent monk who cultivates Buddhism? Lin Luoran's request is simple and clear, but Master Mu is surprised. Buddhist cultivators have always been insignificant and they never participate in the affairs of the world of cultivation. Why does Lin Luoran want to see them? Besides, cultivation is getting more and more difficult. How many sincere believers are there in this fickle city? Buddhist cultivation is even more difficult than Taoist cultivation. Master Mu thinks so. Since Lin Luoran has never asked for help, Master Mu tells her the distribution of the remaining Buddhist cultivators. With Grandpa Mu's advice, Lin Luoran has a better idea. She thanks this senior who she doesn't have a close relationship with but has a good relationship with. Lin Luoran says that she will visit him when she comes to the capital. Hanging up the phone, Master Mu sighs. The news about Lin Luoran has been spread out. The Zhou family might even want to give birth to their son. Master Mu thinks of the photo of a man flying on a hawk. It seems that there is a gap between the world of cultivation and the secular world. Even though Master Mu has lived for more than 100 years and witnessed the end of the feudal dynasty, the hardships when the state of Huaxia was founded, and the rapid changes of the world in the past decades, he still can't tell whether it is good or bad to break the barrier between the world of cultivation and the secular world. Master Mu looks at the phone in his hand and smiles bitterly. Even he feels that the technology in the secular world is very convenient. The decline of spells is a foregone conclusion. Then, what was the future of the struggling cultivators like them? Will it be Lin Luoran? Master Mu is lost in thought. Lin Luoran has no idea what Master Mu is thinking about. What she wants most now is not to make boluses or take revenge. She even puts aside her little plan. In the space, the branches of the peach tree are bent by the weight of the fruits. The monkey wine is good for cultivation, but it is a gift from the old monkey. Lin Luoran is going to make some spirit wine herself. Lin Luoran has been back for a few days. Though she has been meditating every night, the reiki she absorbs is not as significant as before. She hasn't started exchanging jade and everyone is in the villa. If she takes the reiki, Mr. Lin and Baojia won't be able to compete with her. Therefore, Lin Luoran feels bored and thinks of making wine today. Lin Luoran has enough materials to make wine. She is going to make fruit wine. Now, peaches are not the only thing in her space. A few days ago, Lin Luoran saw the fruits in her space. She threw 2 apple seeds into the fruits and found a piece of grapevine. After a few days, there are red and green apples and grapes that are sweeter and a little bit sour than raisins. Lin Luoran is overjoyed to be able to grow raisin-like grapes from the wild grape seedlings. Mrs. Lin is very satisfied that her daughter has added new varieties to the vegetable basket. As for the grapes, who cares about this? In order to make wine, Lin Luoran takes Lin Luodong and a little girl, Tuanzi, up the mountain to dig clay. In fact, she wants to use the soil in her space to make wine jars, which may be effective in preventing the loss of reiki. However, this place is close to the Qingqing Taoist temple. She seldom enters the space. She is afraid that Huizhu might notice something. It is better to have less eye-catching things. Should I move back to the city? When Luodong starts school, I might as well move back to the city. With the jade, Mr. Lin and Baojia don't have to cultivate here. Goldie is very stubborn now, so Lin Luoran doesn't force it to fly with others. Anyway, Lin Luoran has reached the level of laying foundation. She can fly on the wind even if she doesn't step on a flying sword. Goldie can stay at Lin's house as an extra layer of protection. The 3 of them walk in the forest. Lucy stumbles and relies on Lin Luodong to hold it. Soon, they find a shallow pond. It's too dirty to take the clay back, so they shape it on the spot and burn it into wine jars. It's convenient to take it back. Tuanzi makes many crumpled clay figurines and insists that they are her Uncle Luodong. Seeing Luodong's blushing face, Lin Luoran almost bursts out laughing. Now Lin Luoran is very good at molding with earth. In order to make the boy blush a little, she makes 2 clay figurines of Lin Luodong and Lucy. She also takes some plants in the mountains to dye the figurines. After being baked, the figurines are really lifelike. Lin Luodong can't take his eyes off them. Tuanzi claps its chubby hands and laughs so hard that its eyes can't be seen. When they return to the villa with the wine jars and Tuanzi who is covered in mud, there is a touch of red light in the sky. That is the last glow of the setting sun. Making fruit wine is actually very simple. First, wash the fruits, beat them with a wooden stick, mash them, filter out the dregs, add some water from the space, add some spirit herbs, and seal the jars to wait for the wine to ferment. Everyone in the Lin's family is mobilized. The peaches in the space are dozens of kilograms, and the 2 apple trees have hundreds of kilograms of apples. There are a few grapes, but Lin Luoran's wine jars are not small. She has made more than 10 jars of fruit wine. When Lin Luoran mixes the reiki in the wine, she puts spirit herbs that will not affect the taste and seals the jars. Then, everyone carries the wine to the basement. Mr. Lin, who has just recovered from a serious injury, is the happiest one among them. He used to drink every day. Naturally, he is looking forward to the spirit wine made by his daughter. After making the wine, Lin Luoran's work is not finished. The space can make the growth period of a plant equal to a year. However, if a fruit tree can bear fruit for 10 years, its life will come to an end after 10 rounds of harvesting. Lin Luoran has to plant it again. Speaking of which, vegetables and fruits are still ordinary. Although the space has improved them, they still can't change this rule. After Lin Luoran cleans up the peach trees in the space and buries the new peach pits, she looks at the peach branches and doesn't know what to do with them. She doesn't know if they can be used or not. She just pushes them under the tree in the backyard of the villa. Lin's villa is quiet at night. Lin Luoran has prepared some herbs and goes to the basement alone. The second-grade alchemy furnace she got 3 years ago has been left alone in the basement. The outside is covered with dust, but the inside is as clean as new. Lin Luoran wipes away the dust and lays out the herbs she needs. She recalls the formula of bolus again. After making sure that she remembers it correctly, she slowly takes a deep breath. When she first started her cultivation, she tried to refine boluses, but she used the method of processing traditional Chinese medicine in the secular world. Now that she thinks about it, one of the reasons why it has such a great effect is that the prescription of skin beauty bolus in the shabby medicine book of the Lin family is really awesome, isn't it? It's a pity that the second part is missing. Lin Luoran must study the first part of the medicine book, which seems to be used to treat minor diseases. Lin Luoran comes back to herself and checks the spirit medicine again. There is 1,000-year-old Polygonum multiflorum, 10 jade grass, 10 poria, 10 cassia seed, and more than a dozen spirit herbs that are more than 100 years old. Lin Luoran checks the spirit medicine again. To make a grade 1, gathering chi bolus, she needs more than 10 kinds of main auxiliary herbs. If she doesn't have the powerful space of the sacred pearl to grow them herself, ordinary people can't afford to support her if she wants to learn alchemy. This is the reason why the so-called school of alchemy disappeared in the long river of history. Lin Luoran holds the head of Cheong Chi with her right hand and slowly injects pure fire wakan into the alchemy furnace. When the alchemy furnace is opened, Lin Luoran quickly puts the spirit herbs into the small box attached to the furnace. Chapter 166. Lin Luoran doesn't put the alchemy furnace near the earth fire. She has to rely on her wakan to refine the spirit herbs until the rooster crows. Lin's family knows that she is going to make boluses. Seeing that the basement door is closed, they don't want to disturb her. Lin Luoran feels the situation inside the alchemy furnace with her clear eyes while stabilizing the output of wakan. Without the bead which could absorb Reiki at any time, Lin Luoran's cultivation level had just passed the early stage of Zhuji realm, and she hadn't even reached the middle stage yet. If she wanted to refine elixirs without earthly fire or spirit stones, she would have had a hard time refining spirit herbs. Polygonum multiflorum, Poria cocos, jade grass. They are all refined into brown liquid in their own compartments. Although wakan is overflowing, it is still too much waste liquid for bearing essence. Lin Luoran purses her lips and changes the gesture on her right hand. With a flash of light, the liquid flows down from the pores and is purified like distillation. The whole compartment is full of liquid. After 9 rounds of purification, only a shallow layer is left. Lin Luoran is so focused that she doesn't know how much time has passed. She can't be distracted at this moment, let alone care about the passage of time. After refining and purifying, the next step could be said to be the most important one, pill collecting. The success rate of bearing essence depends on one's talent. Even with the same number of spirit herbs of the same age, the same level, and the same spell for gathering boluses, there will be different results. People don't know the reason, so they attribute it to talent. In fact, the most important thing in the Tao of Alchemy is the scale. How to improve the quality of boluses. Purify again and again. No one can stay in the boring alchemy furnace year after year. When all kinds of liquid flow to the center of the alchemy furnace, they blend with each other and Reiki are in harmony. That is the best moment for gathering boluses. For example, Lin Luoran is fascinated by the beauty of the amber medicine liquid. She always thinks that the medicine liquid should be more compatible, but she forgets the quality of the alchemy furnace and her personal ability. In the blink of an eye, the medicine liquid tends to separate. Lin Luoran hurries to cast a spell to take back the boluses. The lid of the alchemy furnace trembles. A stream of light comes out of Winged Tiger's mouth, which converges with the Reiki triggered by Lin Luoran's spell. The Grade 2 alchemy furnace is helping her to take back the boluses. Lin Luoran knows that she has missed the best time to take back the boluses. She tries her best to cast the spell of taking back the boluses. She feels nervous. It seems that there is an invisible hand spinning the pure medicine liquid in the furnace and slowly squeezing it into a small ball. Lin Luoran is delighted and finishes the last spell. This cauldron of pills seemed to be able to collect quite a lot. Just as she smiled, a slight sound came from the furnace. This is... Lin composes herself and opens the door of the basement, which has been closed for 2 days. Seeing Mrs. Lin greeting her with concern, Lin Luoran cheers up. How is it? Baojia is obsessed with cultivation now. She knows that the boluses made by Lin Luoran are mostly for her and Mr. Lin, so she is very concerned. Mrs. Lin knows her daughter better than anyone else. Seeing that Lin Luoran is tired and disappointed, she pulls Baojia. Lin Luoran sees her mother's action and feels warm for her. She cheers up and says frankly, this cauldron of boluses is ruined by me. Yes, Lin Luoran knows that she is not a genius, but who hasn't dreamed of being an all-rounder? Besides, Lin Luoran is exhausted after 2 days of continuous output of Reiki. However, she loses at the last step. She is not willing to give up. However, at this time, Mrs. Lin and the others are giving her encouragement. Even Luodong knows how to comfort her. Sister, I always failed when I first went to school. Now, I can get 200. Lin Luoran feels a bit embarrassed to say that he got 200 as an encouragement to show off. Lin Luoran rubs his hair and says with a smile, I'm fine. This cauldron is ruined. I just need to take a break and continue. Mrs. Lin nods, you've been in there for 2 days. You should eat something and take a rest first. Then she and Baojia drive Lin Luoran away. Luodong, who has a pointy face, murmurs, I'm not a kid anymore. I don't need to rub my head all the time. Lin Luoran hasn't eaten for 2 days. Mrs. Lin stews pork rib soup for her. She doesn't let Lin Luoran go until she finishes 2 bowls of rice and a big bowl of soup. Back in her room, Goldie sticks its head in through the window. It seems to know that Lin Luoran has failed. However, it doesn't know how to comfort her. Lin Luoran flies to Mount Qingcheng on Goldie's back. She flies around in the sky to blow away Goldie and then goes home. Yes, she has never been a genius. Everything depends on her hard work and great opportunities. Lin Luoran returns home after the night wind blows. She doesn't cultivate this night. She sleeps for more than 10 hours before she wakes up. After eating something, Lin Luoran goes to the basement again. Lin Luoran has adjusted her Reiki to the best and her spirit is also at its best. The most important thing is that she has the experience of the last failure. Lin Luoran is more confident this time. She still puts in so many materials. Lin Luoran holds the Cheongqi beast in her left hand and keeps injecting Reiki into it. She quickly puts in the spirit herbs and closes the lid of the cauldron and starts to concentrate on making boluses. The spirit herbs and herbs are refined into liquid and their essences are kept in the purification process. The liquid is rolling and rising. Lin Luoran is fascinated by the beauty of the Reiki. The purified liquid flowed into the platform through the small holes. The small streams converged and formed a small pool of liquid on the round platform in the center of the alchemy furnace. The liquid was the essence of more than 10 kinds of spirit herbs. They had different medicinal properties and different amounts, but strangely, they interacted with each other as one. This is the moment. Lin Luoran calmly casts the spell of closing boluses. In the intertwining light, Cheongqi breathes out light again. Lin Luoran's power is trying to merge with the power of the cauldron. The lid of the cauldron vibrates for the first time. Even with her eyes closed, Lin Luoran can feel that the liquid is rotating, taking shape and becoming rounder and rounder. Finally, she finishes the last spell of closing boluses. The fire Reiki in her body is completely used up. The bead is nourishing the dried nebula in her pubic region. Lin Luoran holds the completely quiet alchemy furnace. She feels weak, but the smile on her face is getting bigger and bigger. Although she doesn't know the success rate of bearing boluses, she is undoubtedly successful. Chapter 167. Lin Luoran uses the best spirit medicine and a grade 2 alchemy furnace to make, gathering chi boluses, of the upper rank of grade 1. Lin Luoran gets 35 boluses in the end. It seems that the success rate is only 35%, but it is enough to make Lin Luoran happy. This is the first time for her to make boluses. Gathering chi boluses can keep Reiki inside the body, which is most suitable for people like Mr. Lin and Baojia who haven't even reached the early stage of training chi. They can absorb Reiki but can't keep it. Of course, in today's cultivation environment full of violent Reiki, the peaceful and pure Reiki of boluses is the most valuable part. One bolus has limited Reiki, but what about 100 boluses? It takes Lin Luoran 2 days to make such boluses. In this way, how many boluses should she exchange? Lin Luoran uses 1,000-year-old knotweed, which is more effective than she expected. Although she hasn't seen gathering chi boluses before, she can guess that they are twice as effective. This is the reason why Lin Luoran is still satisfied even though the success rate is not high. After all, this is the first time for her to make boluses. There is still a long way to go, right? However, only one kind of gathering chi bolus is too few. Lin Luoran sets her sights on another kind of bolus. It is circulation bolus, of the upper rank of grade 2. Different from gathering chi bolus, it focuses on healing. Of course, it can't be used to cure Master Guo's old wounds. However, for cultivators who haven't reached the level of laying foundation, it may be able to save their lives. There are not many people who can afford to use gathering chi bolus for a long time. Circulation bolus should be popular. However, there is a medicine in circulation bolus. It is not a spirit herb or an ordinary Chinese herbal medicine. It is toad cake, and Lin Luoran needs to collect it herself. Bitter toad is recorded in the formula. Lin Luoran checks and finds out that it is toad cake. Bitter toad is another name for toad. It was summer, and the Qingqing mountain range should have no lack of frogs like toads, right? In the evening, Lin Luoran secretly carries a small basket and a glass bottle. She changes into long clothes and trousers. Mr. Lin is waiting for her at the gate of the villa, dressed in the same way. I knew you were going there secretly. Why? Don't you like your old father? Lin Luoran blushes. No matter how young her father is, Lin Luoran always remembers how he and her mother worked so hard to pay for her education. At that time, she was incompetent. Now, she naturally hopes that her parents can live a leisurely life. However, looking at Mr. Lin's blaming eyes, Lin Luoran can't help but reflect on whether she has gone too far. Mr. Lin used to collect herbs for a living, so he is familiar with toad cake. Why don't I go with my father? Even though it will be slower, Mr. Lin will have a sense of achievement of being useful. Isn't it better? Luoran and Lin Luoran father and daughter go into the Bakawan mountain. The moonlight is good tonight. Lin Luoran can see clearly on the mountain path. However, Mr. Lin takes a chopper and a flashlight with him. Watching Mr. Lin cutting the weeds and branches to clear the way, Lin Luoran seems to forget that she is now a powerful cultivator and a child who needs his protection. Lin Luoran used to go up the mountain with her father like this during the summer vacation. Therefore, Lin Luoran doesn't use spells or show off her skills. She just follows Mr. Lin and becomes the little girl who needs her father's protection again. Girl, look. Mr. Lin suddenly stops and points to a pine tree. Under the light of the flashlight, Lin Luoran sees some umbrella-shaped mushrooms on the ground covered with pine needles. The mushrooms are brown with a little bit of red, and they are half open. It's a pine umbrella. Even Lin Luoran can't help but exclaim. Pine umbrella is a kind of wild mushroom that grows in the pine forest. It is especially delicious. Li's village is against the mountain, so Lin Luoran knows many wild mushrooms. However, she has only picked this kind of pine umbrella 2 or 3 times since she can remember. Because of its rarity, it is even more delicious. Lin Luoran has a deep impression of it. After she went to college, she even did some research and learned that the scientific name of this mushroom is blood rivet mushroom. It is one of the specialties of Changbai Mountain. No wonder it is rarely seen in Chuan. Dad, you have a good eye. Lin Luoran is happily picking mushrooms while flattering Mr. Lin. Although Mr. Lin doesn't shake his head, he is obviously proud of himself. There is only a small pile of mushrooms in the basket, which just fills the bottom. Lin Luoran is unwilling to give up, so she searches the pine forest again. She doesn't find any pine umbrella, but she finds some horse's ears similar to black fungus. Anyway, it is edible, so she loots all of them. Looking at his daughter, Mr. Lin shakes his head helplessly. Lin Luoran has liked to follow him to the mountains since she was a little girl. He always feels that his daughter, who doesn't like to talk usually, finds everything interesting and enjoys herself in the mountains. She is really talented in finding food and herbs. Is finding food a talent? Mr. Lin hesitates for a while and adds this advantage to his daughter. They walk and stop like this until midnight. Finally, they find a pond. Hearing the continuous croaking of frogs, Lin Luoran and Mr. Lin both laugh. This is the place. There are some skills to catch toads. Jumping into the pond is not a good idea. Frogs and toads usually eat at night. They usually hide in the water grass on the shore to catch insects. At this time, they just need to walk along the pond and shine the flashlight at the place where they hear frogs. Most of the frogs will suddenly become stupid and lie still in the grass. Lin Luoran can catch them quickly and throw them into the bag. Lin Luoran can't tell the difference between the croaking of frogs and toads since she was a little girl. However, Mr. Lin is an expert. Obviously, the place where the flashlight shines, there is probably a toad lying on the ground. Mr. Lin is responsible for catching the toads and Lin Luoran is responsible for collecting the toad fluid. As for the toad paste, that is the Chinese medicine processed by the toad fluid. Lin Luoran has done this many times since she was a little girl. However, compared with her childhood, she is now a cultivator in the level of laying foundation, isn't she? Finally, she doesn't need to catch the sticky and ugly toads by herself. With a spell of water, the basket of toads is soon cleaned. She puts her thumb on the neck of a toad and grabs its body with other fingers. Then she picks up the gland behind its ear with a copper tweezer. Soon, the white fluid will overflow. Lin Luoran takes a glass bottle prepared in advance to catch the white fluid. She doesn't have to kill the toad to get the fluid. Lin Luoran puts all the toad fluid in the basket on her back and prepares to release them at last. In this way, Lin Luoran and Mr. Lin catch toads and take out the liquid. In less than an hour, Mr. Lin catches hundreds of toads to fill the glass bottle, which looks like a lot of toad liquid. Dad, that's enough. Almost all the toads in the nearby pond have been caught. Seeing Mr. Lin walking further and further in the night, Lin Luoran hurriedly asks him to come back. Mr. Lin shines the flashlight and Lin Luoran waves her hands. That's enough. Let's go back. Mr. Lin comes back. Lin Luoran notices that his pants are almost wet and says, I should have caught them. Why did you go into the water? Mr. Lin waves his hand. That's nothing. Now your dad is very good at fighting. Catching 2 toads is nothing. Lin Luoran chuckles. She releases the toads that have taken the toad fluid. She stealthily dries Mr. Lin's pants before leaving. When they go back to Lin's villa, it's already dawn. Mrs. Lin has already gotten up. She opens the door and sees Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran standing at the door. Mrs. Lin rubs her eyes. Where have you been so early? Mr. Lin raises his right hand and waves it in front of Mrs. Lin's eyes. He catches 2 fat hares on his way back. Who doesn't love wild game? Mrs. Lin frowns. Well, you went into the mountain secretly, didn't you? Mr. Lin scratches his head. Lin Luoran sneaks into the house, leaving the nagging Mrs. Lin to Mr. Lin. After so many years, Mrs. Lin and Lin Luoran naturally have their own way of getting along with each other. As their daughter, why should she be the third wheel? The Lin family has delicious rabbit meat and wild mushrooms for lunch. Wang Miao Yi and her husband also come for lunch. Lin Luoran is a cultivator, so she can quickly extract the toad paste from the toad fluid. By the next night, she had already prepared the herbs needed to refine the small reversion pill. Mrs. Lin feeds Lin Luoran well before she allows her to enter the basement, which is used as a temporary alchemy room. This process took another 2 days and 2 nights. Chapter 168. Lin Luoran keeps making elixirs at home. She takes a rest after she runs out of Reiki, gets up, and starts making elixirs again. She has been doing this for a whole month. Mrs. Lin is worried about her daughter's boring life. She tries her best to nourish Lin Luoran's body. Mrs. Lin's love soup is waiting for her every time she goes out of the basement. Pheasants in the mountains and wild fish in the lake are also the victims. Goldie sometimes brings back the pheasants as snacks, but Mrs. Lin snatches them away from Goldie's mouth. Mr. Lin catches the pheasants every day when he is free. His way of cultivation is to hold a fishing rod, sit by the lake, and slow down his breath to feel the Reiki in the world. Lin Luoran doesn't object to her father's idea of combining cultivation with his hobby. Who says that to absorb Reiki, one must meditate? Lin Luoran eats, sleeps, walks, and even makes elixirs according to the frequency of the breathing spell. She doesn't feel that the speed of absorbing Reiki is much slower than meditating. Cultivation still depended on whether or not one could calm their heart. Just like alchemy, one needed to be able to endure the loneliness. The sea was filled with all rivers, and the path to immortality was endless. The accumulation of every step was like the rivers in the sea. Wasn't it also composed of droplets of water? She can't control the sea, but she can control every step and every drop of water. For a whole month, Lin Luoran has devoted herself to making elixirs. Every time she goes out of the basement, she is so tired that she falls asleep immediately. She has no time to cultivate. However, when she gets the elixirs and checks her level of cultivation, she is delighted. Instead of regressing, she makes a little progress. As the saying goes, break and then build. Although she hasn't reached the state of break, she consumes her Reiki every time she makes elixirs. Then she replenishes her Reiki with the bead when she breathes and sleeps. Using Reiki in this way is actually a kind of cultivation, right? At the end of the month, Lin Luoran finally stops making elixirs and comes out. The whole family is looking at several jade boxes on the table. Baojia can't help but say, "That's all you've done in a month." Lin Luoran pinches her and holds back the urge to roll her eyes. This almost took her life. How was it lacking? Lin Luoran has turned on the furnace 18 times in the past month, including 14 times for gathering chi boluses. Lin Luoran has harvested 480 boluses in total. The lowest harvest is 29 boluses and the highest harvest is 38 boluses. The harvest rate is not stable. Lin Luoran may have to make more boluses. Lin Luoran has practiced circulation bolus 4 times and collected 78 boluses in total. Last night, she collected 28 boluses in one furnace, which made her very happy. For more than 500 boluses, even toads are rarely seen in the place far away from the Lin family, let alone Lin Luoran's medicinal materials. She kept some medicinal herbs for each of them, ready to wait for them to mature, and replanted the rest. Lin Luoran has used up a lot of medicinal materials to make more than 500 elixirs of various kinds. Especially those that she didn't have a lot of in the past. It seemed like it would be difficult for her to refine pills on a large scale in a short period of time. Such a large number of gathering chi boluses should not be underestimated. Except for Lin Luoran, who is rich in spirit herbs, even the school of alchemy can't refine elixirs at such a speed. For example, it takes a month for gathering chi boluses to run out. Lin Luoran doesn't plan to give more to her father and Baojia. For one thing, it would be a waste. For another, as mentioned before, it is not appropriate to increase the level of cultivation by taking elixirs during the time of laying the foundation. Therefore, Lin Luoran keeps 100 gathering chi boluses for her family. Even if it is for Mr. Lin and Baojia, it will last for about 4 years. She keeps the other 100 gathering chi boluses for herself. She only plans to sell 280 gathering chi boluses. It is not good to betray her enemies. As for circulation boluses, well, she will keep half of them for her family and sell the rest one by one. Lin Luoran, who has the potential of being a profiteer, opens the BBS and changes the word pre-sale to sale. Cultivators who have already prepared the jade can finally breathe a sigh of relief and start to rush to our city. The reason why they can't use online trading this time is that Master Lin said that they can only decide how many boluses to exchange for the jade according to the quality of the jade. As for the schools, Shi Heng, who has a good apprentice with Lin Luoran, is very happy. However, sending his apprentice to Lin Luoran is too much of a flatterer. Therefore, Shi Heng decides to send his apprentice to Lin Luoran. After all, Li Shi's name is more or less good. The master of the Wen family is also smiling. Even Qin Yun of the special department is thinking about getting some boluses as a reward for the task and the welfare of the department. Anyway, the jade has already been prepared. They must buy as many as they can. Everyone seems to have a well-thought-out plan. Lin Luoran, who has made up her mind to limit the amount of jade, smiles like a little fox in front of the computer. Even Lin Luodong, who passes by the study, trembles. Why is his sister smiling so much today? Her eyes are curved, which makes him feel that all his money will be taken away. The guards of Qingqing Villa had a very pleasant and puzzling day today. He knows that the residents of the villa are either rich or powerful. However, why are all the rich good-looking nowadays? The world is so unfair. Rich young men who drive luxury cars say that they want to visit Villa number 18 as soon as they get out of the car. Today, there are more than a dozen groups of people. What makes the guard jealous and happy is that many people give him tips. Nowadays, even the guards of residential areas can get tips. The gap between the rich and the poor has indeed widened. However, so many good-looking people are going to Villa number 18. Is it possible that there is a film and television mogul living in the mysterious Villa number 18 and these people are all stars going there for an interview? Of course, these cultivators don't know that they are regarded as actors by a guard. Speaking of Lin Luoran's plan of exchanging elixirs for jade, Zheng Tian, whose ID is the bitter congenital realm, on the BBS, comes from a business family. He has so much money that he doesn't know how to spend it. It is not easy for him to buy jade. Today, he drives an off-road vehicle with a trunk full of jade. Though the jade is not the best, he believes that he can win by quantity. Zheng Tian is usually a bit sloppy, but the person he is going to visit is Master Lin. He doesn't dare to be careless. Besides the jade, he also prepares many gifts. He parks the car half a mile away from Villa number 18 at the end of the road and climbs up with 2 big boxes in his arms. When he arrives at the door, he doesn't know how to enter. A middle-aged man fishing by the lake points inside. Zheng Tian cleverly takes out a cigarette and lights it for the middle-aged man who is wearing ordinary clothes. Zheng Tian is a little smart. What's wrong with fishing? So what if he is wearing ordinary clothes? How can he fish in front of the gate of Lin's house without some skills? After smoking a cigarette, the middle-aged man asks curiously, "Why don't you go in? Aren't you here to exchange elixirs?" Hearing this, Zheng Tian scratches his head in embarrassment. "Brother, I don't dare." Mr. Lin is almost choked by the cigarette. He is much older than the boy in front of him. How dare he call him brother? Although Mr. Lin thinks so, he is actually complimenting Mr. Lin's young age in a disguised way. Mr. Lin is quite satisfied. He feels that all the cultivators who came before him are not as good as the boy in front of him. He stops fishing, puts down the fishing pole, and leads Zheng Tian into the house. Zheng Tian follows Mr. Lin happily, as if it is the first time for Sister Lin to enter Ronggua's house. He doesn't dare to look at her for long. When they arrive at the flower hall, Zheng Tian doesn't take the opportunity to look at her but a glass of wine instead of tea. Master Lin's way of treating guests is a bit strange. She actually serves him wine. Let me see what's different about this wine. Picking up the bamboo cup, Zheng Tian sees that the middle-aged man who is fishing is looking at him. As a man, he can't be weak, so he drinks the wine. When the wine enters his stomach, Zheng Tian's expression is like a palette, first red, then purple, then white, and then red. It's not that he can't stand it, but the feeling of peaceful Reiki running in his body is really wonderful. After a quarter of an hour, Zheng Tian opens his eyes and takes a deep breath. Master Lin is really generous to use spirit wine to entertain guests. Seeing that Zheng Tian opens his eyes, Mr. Lin smiles and says, "How is it?" Zheng Tian almost bursts into tears. "Master, this glass of wine can help me cultivate for many days. What do you think?" Mr. Lin waves his hand. "I'm talking about the taste of the wine. Is it good?" "Good." Zheng Tian is a little dizzy. It turns out that spirit wine is about taste. He gulps it down like Zhu Beiji eating ginseng fruit. He only remembers the feeling of the surging Reiki, but how can he remember the taste? Lin Luoran walks out of the house with a smile. "Dad, don't tease him. It is Baojia's idea to use spirit wine to entertain guests. It is not because she is generous, but because she just dug it out today. Baojia says she wants to see if there are any adverse reactions such as allergies after drinking it. Therefore, all the people who come to exchange boluses today become lab rats. Judging from the expressions of the people in front of them, they are obviously happy lab rats." Zheng Tian salutes to Lin Luoran respectfully and introduces himself. He checks the jade he brings. The whole box of jade is not the best, so Lin Luoran exchanges 6 gathering qi boluses and 1 circulation bolus. Looking at Zheng Tian's happy face, Lin Luoran, who has the potential of being a profiteer, wonders if she has exchanged too much. These people are so easily satisfied. With your personal ability, you can only get 1 bolus every 2 months. Don't be greedy. Zheng Tian nods and walks out of the gate of Lin's house dizzily. He touches the jade box in his pocket and secretly clenches his fists. "If I practice hard, I may be able to break through and get rid of the bitter inborn realm. Ha, I am so lucky. The one who gives away the smoke is Master Lin's father, ha ha ha." Lin Luoran has the same feeling as Zheng Tian. She has received so many jade that her hands are tired. The threshold of Lin's house is almost broken by people who come to exchange boluses. The jade Lin Luoran received is piled up like a hill in the basement. Even with her self-control, she still lets the bead absorb the jade and sighs that profiteers make money. Chapter 169. Lin Luoran leaves some of the converted jades at home and puts most of them in the space. After all, they are not waste in the eyes of cultivators anymore. They are as valuable as spirit stones. It's better to be careful. Money moves people's hearts. It's always good to keep a low profile. Luodong has been very excited these days because Lin Luoran has said that she will take him to the capital. In fact, it doesn't matter where they are going. Though he is curious about the capital, he misses Lin Luoran more than anything else. Just like a bird that just opens its eyes, it always recognizes the first person it sees as its mother. Luodong has this feeling about Lin Luoran. Therefore, Luodong is looking forward to the trip to the capital, which Lin Luoran has specially prepared for him. Days go by in Luodong's expectation. Finally, it's time for departure. Mrs. Lin is reluctant to part with her daughter. She feels sad that Lin Luoran has to go out again after being missing for 3 years. Mr. Lin counsels her in private. Lin Luoran can't make progress by staying with her parents. Even if Lin Luoran doesn't cultivate and becomes an ordinary white-collar worker, she can't spend as much time as she does now. After Mrs. Lin thinks it through, she feels relieved and sees Lin Luoran and Luodong out. Goldie is getting more and more powerful. Lin Luoran leaves it to guard the house, which is another security. Lin Luoran and Luodong book tickets for the flight on the same day. Baojia drives them to the airport. Commander Qin has retired and lives in the military compound all year round. Baojia is too lazy to go out. She usually takes jewelry design jobs and spends most of her time cultivating. The carefree Baojia is now very hardworking. Lin Luoran can't tell if it's a good thing or not. Baojia is still upset that Zhou Yawei attacked the Qin and Lin families because of Lin Luoran. Baojia needs time to figure it out. Putting the issue aside, there is nothing wrong with working hard on cultivation, right? After all, cultivators in the level of laying foundation have a lifespan of 200 years. They can spend more time doing what they like. Who can say that their hard work doesn't pay off? She boards the plane smoothly. The only thing that makes her feel strange is why people are looking at her all the way. Now that her cultivation had advanced by leaps and bounds, the sharpness that she had before, which was like an unsheathed sword, was gone. She was now very much in tune with her surroundings. Although her appearance was still outstanding, if one did not deliberately look at her, it would be very easy to be deceived by her temperament in the crowd. Lin Luoran still doesn't know that the photos of her flying on the hawk have spread like a virus. Netizens, whether they pay attention to this matter or not, will inevitably glance at the photos. Because it is only a side view of Lin Luoran, people only think that she looks familiar. Besides, she is wearing casual pants, so they dare not recognize her. He took out a pair of sunglasses and put them on. Sure enough, it was much more convenient for him to carry out the next step. Lin Luoran has always insisted that Luodong should open his heart and blend into the crowd. She doesn't book a first-class seat, but an ordinary economy class. Seeing how nervous Luodong is, Lin Luoran asks in a low voice, "Are you scared? Didn't you ride on Goldie's back before?" Lin Luodong's little face turns pale. That's not the same. Goldie is so safe that it won't have tinnitus when it takes off. Hearing Lin Luoran's question, Goldie refuses to admit defeat. He sticks out his chest and forces himself to look out of the window. The nervousness when encountering the airflow gradually disappears. In this world, there are two kinds of beauty that can move people's hearts the most. No matter what kind of aesthetic, it is irresistible. One is the blue sea, the kind of broad-minded beauty with the ups and downs of the waves, the kind of beauty that is magnificent. The other was the ethereal beauty of the ethereal emptiness above the blue sky that was like a blue sea, where the clouds rolled and unfolded. Looking at the various shapes of the white clouds, even Lin Luoran can't help thinking of those beautiful legends, let alone a child like Luodong. Is there really a towering palace in the depths of the floating white clouds? Seeing that Luodong's eyes are blurred and sleepy, Lin Luoran can't help but laugh. The passenger next to her who has been peeking at the siblings is so amazed that his eyes almost pop out. The little boy is wearing a British-style summer suit and his eyes are shy. In the eyes of some passengers, this is the introversion of a noble. As for the woman sitting next to him, she seems to be in her early 20s, but she looks calm and comfortable. Both of them are very outstanding in appearance and temperament. Are they brother and sister? If you ask Luodong this question, he will nod happily. Where would he be now without Lin Luoran by his side? Lin Luodong often thinks about this question. The various strange possibilities make him cherish his current life more and more every time. Because of the connection between his sister and him, his life will be as wonderful and beautiful as the blue sky. Lin Luodong firmly believes that. The plane slowly lands at the capital airport. The siblings are in a good mood. Some people are looking forward to their arrival, but some people may not be able to sleep at night. The capital is blue and the blue sky. Because of the frequent sandstorms in the spring and autumn, the blue sky is flawless when the sky is clear. It is so rare that it is fascinating. People with a clear conscience can see the bright world under the blue sky. People with a guilty conscience can feel the chilly wind even if they hide in a mansion in broad daylight. For example, Mrs. Zhou. Recently, Mrs. Zhou has experienced the pain of losing her son. She has been struggling in fear and sleepless for more than a month. Mrs. Zhou is getting old and haggard. Beauty salon. Mrs. Zhou rarely goes out now. When she goes out, she has a large group of bodyguards with her. Under such circumstances, she is not in the mood to go to the beauty salon and chat with a group of noble ladies. The henchman of the Zhou family comes back with the determination to die. He has no choice. The henchman of the Zhou family is a trusted henchman who even orders his young master to kill people. His family is not under the control of the Zhou family. How can such a family trust an unknown henchman? Being a bad guy doesn't mean that he is heartless. He has a big family to support. Even if he dies after coming back to the Zhou family, a generous amount of alimony will be enough for his family. Therefore, the henchman chooses to come back. To his surprise, Zhou Guojun, the head of the Zhou family, is disappointed when he hears the news. However, he doesn't yell at the henchman. On the contrary, Mrs. Zhou, who usually cares about her image, is crying her eyes out. She cries about Mr. Zhou's poor life and viciously yells that she will tear him into pieces. The messenger is dragged away and he can't choose how to die. However, he has a feeling that it is better for him to die easily than for the Zhou family. Zhou Guojun, Wei is your only son. Do you have the heart to see him die? Mrs. Zhou's eyes are dark. She grabs Zhou Guojun's sleeves and says vaguely. Zhou Guojun slaps Mrs. Zhou in the face. Pa! Mrs. Zhou's face is swollen. Mrs. Zhou covers her face and can't believe it. Zhou Guojun supports his shaky body and turns around to leave. After all, he is a senior minister. The Zhou family has many friends. He doesn't believe that the state will let him die. What cultivator? Can a person deal with the state? Zhou Guojun is not an idiot. He chooses to bear with it when he has to avenge his only son. He has to cast a net and make sure that those who come to trouble him will die. No matter how useless Zhou Yaowei is, he is the only son of the Zhou family and the only child of Zhou Guojun. Zhou Guojun asks the state to give him an explanation. He reports that his son was murdered. Since this case involves a cultivator, Chen Yun is the first one to receive the file. Minister Chen turns the file over and blushes. They try to recruit Zhou Yaowei into the special department for the sake of the evil cultivator. However, Zhou Yaowei is seeking his own death. He messed with Lin Luoran, who has been in the limelight in recent years. Chen Yun has automatically filtered his memory. He forgets that Zhou Yaowei was not the only one who wanted to hurt the Lin family that night. Actually, Zhou Yaowei and his family were up to no good. The more this was the case, the more he should express his goodwill and improve their relationship. Just like that, Chen Yun suppressed the case. What makes the Zhou family angry is the setbacks in other places. When the Zhou family is approaching Commander Qin step by step, many people in the army are unhappy with them and many political enemies are dissatisfied with the Zhou family's power. At this time, you want us to send troops to protect you? In your dreams. You are using public power for private purposes. The photos on the internet provide netizens with speculation and gossip. For the dignitaries, it is a good opportunity to find out the truth. With the investigation, a door opens in front of them. It turns out that there is a cultivator who can fly in the sky and hide in the ground behind their arrogant world. Some dignitaries on a certain level gloat when they know that the Zhou family has provoked such a cultivator who can take people's lives at any time. Those who are enemies of the Zhou family almost celebrate. Those who are on good terms with the Zhou family stay away from the Zhou family. The cruel reality and indifferent people finally make Zhou Guojun sleepless at night. Looking at Mrs. Zhou who only knows how to cry every day, Zhou Guojun feels regretful. Mrs. Zhou is Zhou Guojun's second wife. His first wife couldn't give birth to a son, so Zhou Guojun divorced her regardless of the consequences. Then he married Mrs. Zhou, who was his mistress at the time. Finally, Mrs. Zhou got what she wanted and gave birth to a son. However, now it seems that it is a pity that Mrs. Zhou doesn't have a son. What if she has a son and a mother who can't even show up in public? Wait, there is also Commander Qin. According to his nostalgic character, there may be a chance. Chapter 170. Today, I just found out that the author can get points by repeatedly posting comments on the same account. Well, Pa didn't say anything about it. You know what I mean. In addition, this week's essence has been distributed. Let's make the comments section more active so that there will be 100 or even more essence next week. Lin Luoran takes Luodong to the Fragrant Hill Villa. In the cottage, when Lin Luoran puts a bottle of 10 circulation boluses on the table, Master Guo's neck turns red. What are you doing? This old man isn't after your pills. Lin Luoran smiles and says yes, but she refuses to take back the circulation boluses. Since she sold the boluses and said that she would not make boluses in a short period of time, the price of such a life-saving circulation bolus has skyrocketed. Seeing this, some people who sell the boluses for a profit laugh at Lin Luoran. Only Lin Luoran knows that she is actually making a profit. Of course, she can take her time and infiltrate into the Burmese power through her own efforts. She can be a shareholder of the mine or the owner of the behind-the-scenes. She will never be short of jade. However, in the beginning, Lin Luoran can't get out of this business. First of all, it will delay her cultivation. Second, if she doesn't sell boluses, how can she let all the forces in the world of cultivation know that she can make boluses? She is probably the only cultivator in the level of laying foundation who can make boluses. If she doesn't have the personal ability of the level of laying foundation, everyone can catch her and raise her. Unfortunately, Lin Luoran is not only in the level of laying foundation, but she also has a limit on the number of boluses she can buy. So what if they catch her? When the time comes, they will get more boluses than if they don't catch her. This is Lin Luoran's idea. She wants to minimize the possibility of these dirty things happening so that she and her family can focus on their cultivation. She is willing to give Master Guo the boluses for the sake of delaying him in the past 3 years. Master Mu tries to smooth things over. Master Guo, just take it. It's a gift from her. Master Guo accepts the elixir. Circulation elixir, an upper grade 2 elixir, can cure the injuries of cultivators in the level of laying foundation. Even if his old injuries are too serious, these elixirs can help him suppress them for a while. As the saying goes, even ants want to live. Who doesn't want to live as long as there is a glimmer of hope? Master Mu and Master Mu both like Luodong, who is shy but polite. Master Mu's eyes light up when he sees Luodong, who only has the Taoist root of the earth. If it weren't for Luodong's master, Master Mu would have asked to take Luodong as his apprentice. He asks why Lin Luoran doesn't ask him to cultivate. Lin Luoran says that he can choose by himself when he is 18 years old. Both of them look at Lin Luoran in surprise, which makes Lin Luoran think that there is a flower on her face. Do you know how many people are helpless about being able to identify their Taoist roots at 8 years old? They wish they could start cultivating when they were still in their mother's womb. You're the only one who doesn't care about these few years. It might seem like a waste, but it's not necessarily a waste. You are much more knowledgeable than us. Lin Luoran is surprised. She just heard about the identification of the Taoist root at the age of 8 from Master Mu. It is not a matter of vision. The only difference between Lin Luoran and others is that she believes in democracy and open-mindedness when it comes to children's education. Lin Luoran hopes that she can just be a guide and children should make their own choices in life. The three of them are all in the level of laying foundation. Master Mu and Lin Luoran have been talking about Taoism for a long time. They have endless topics. It has been less than 4 years, but Lin Luoran is not an ignorant person. She has studied the cultivation encyclopedia before bearing essence from White Fairy for a long time. When she talks with Grandpa Moo and Grandpa Moo again, she not only listens but also has her own opinions. What she says makes Grandpa Moo think about it seriously. The three of them drink wine and talk about Taoism. This is the authentic monkey wine that Lin Luoran brought. Though the wine she made is effective, it lacks the mellow flavor of monkey wine. This is the first time Lin Luoran feels that something is wrong since she got the space. For living plants, it can be ripe overnight. However, for dead things or vegetables or fruits, it is like a refrigerator. Time passes quickly, but the age of the wine doesn't change at all. The monkey wine is made from fruits, so it is not intoxicating. The unique fragrance attracts little squirrels to jump on the branches, but they dare not to come down. Master Mu and Luoran do not avoid Luodong when they talk. Luodong is the boy who pours the wine and listens to them. It turns out that one needs to have the Taoist root in order to learn magic arts of nature. He has the nature of earth. Luodong doesn't know how precious a single nature of Taoist root is. However, he is happy that he has it. It turns out that when one cultivates to the level of his sister, the level of laying foundation, one can not only use spells, but also spells. The more spells one knows, the more spells one knows, the more spells one can control things that are not in the 5 elements. Lin Luodong is confused and he can only keep it in mind. Wood makes a forest, forest gives birth to wind, or fire meets water and there is wind. All in all, he understands one thing. Lin Luoran is very powerful now. Even if she doesn't ride on Goldie, she can still cast the wind-riding spell to fly in the air. It is getting late. The little squirrels lose their patience. Since they can't get any wine, they go back to their nest and eat pine nuts to vent their anger. Finally, Luodong falls asleep. Master Mu, can you take care of Luodong for me? Seeing that Luodong is asleep, Lin Luoran lowers her voice. Master Mu says with puffed eyes, I am not a nanny, a bottle of monkey wine. Lin Luoran throws out her trump card. 3 bottles. Master Mu sits up straight and looks like a sage. 2 bottles. Forget it if you can't. Okay, deal. Both of them are satisfied with the result. Lin Luoran is going to give the wine to Master Mu anyway. It is nice to have one less bottle. Master Mu is satisfied. He only wants 2 bottles, and Linny thinks that she has won the bargain. Haha, the older, the wiser. Seeing that Lin Luoran is going out in the dark, Master Mu knows what to do. However, Master Gua says, where are you going after putting the kid to sleep? Lin Luoran smiles mysteriously, a bloody place is not suitable for kids. Where do you think I should go? Master Gua nods without saying a word. He is like the old chivalrous men. Cultivation is nothing. If he can't do whatever he wants, eat meat and drink wine, he doesn't want to be an immortal. How long will it take to kill these little bastards? The 2 old men are waiting for you to come back and drink. Come on, let's drink. Master Gua is quite generous. He picks up the glass and drinks up. Lin Luoran also drinks up. She feels heartbroken. If she had known this would happen, she would have given them the wine she made herself. She doesn't know when she will get the monkey wine again. They treat the Zhou family as a flea and they don't take it seriously at all. In the Zhou family, Zhou Guojun puts down the phone in his hand. His knuckles turn white because he squeezes too hard. What did he say? Mrs. Zhou asks with red eyes. Zhou Guojun shakes his head. He said that since Wei hit Qin Baojia with his car, his relationship with me has been written off. Mrs. Zhou is desperate at first, and then she gets angry, written off. My father-in-law carried him out of a pile of dead people. How could he write off that easily? People in the Qin family are all as heartless as that bitch Qin Baojia. Wire liked her so much. If he had agreed, she would have been the daughter-in-law of the Zhou family and my Wire would not have died. That's enough. Zhou Guojun interrupts Mrs. Zhou. At the same time, the blue veins on his neck stand out because he squeezes too hard. How can you say that? If you didn't ask Qin Baojia for help every few days, he wouldn't have avoided you like a snake and opposed his granddaughter's marriage. After all, it is you, an ignorant woman, who killed Wei. It is you, an ignorant woman, who killed Wei. Zhou Guojun's words hit the crying Mrs. Zhou like thunder. Her lips turn pale and her fingers tremble. She refuses to admit that she has spoiled her son. Now, it seems that there is no way out. By the way, how is it going with Wei's master? Although Zhou Guojun believes that the mysterious master should take a lot of responsibility for his son's death, Zhou Guojun has no choice but to rely on Zhou Yaoi's master to get through this difficult time. Zhou Guojun frowns and looks at Mrs. Zhou, who used to be so powerful. She shakes her head with her pale face. Zhou Guojun's hand holding the cigarette trembles. He can't believe that the Zhou family has come to this. Are these cultivators really so powerful? Chapter 171. Zhou Guojun is the only direct descendant of the Zhou family. There are several other people in important positions, but they are distant relatives. They just use the name of the Zhou family to get promoted. Even if the Zhou family is willing to accept them, others may not be happy. Lin Luoran reads the information about the Zhou family in her mind and finds it funny. Chen Yun sent this information to her after hearing that she came to the capital. Apparently, he is trying to be friendly. Chen Yun's way of doing things is very bureaucratic. No wonder he hasn't laid foundation yet. Lin Luoran burns the information in her hand into ashes. She stays in the air and looks at the Zhou couple in the study. Weeds will grow again if the roots are not removed. It's better if they don't have close relatives. Revenge is one thing, but Lin Luoran doesn't want to kill innocent people. God is watching what people do. Lin Luoran can vent her anger by killing indiscriminately. However, if she does that, she will be no different from Zhou Yawei, who bullies the weak, and Mrs. Zhou, who doesn't care about people's lives. Killing to stop killing may be the way to do things, but it is not Lin Luoran's style. The study of the Zhou family is decorated with crystal chandeliers. It is not luxurious, but the taste is not bad. This is not a business house, but a house of the upper class of the state of Huaxia. Lin Luoran's eyes are cold. The study is on the second floor. There are bodyguards with guns walking around on the balcony. There are dozens of bodyguards in the Zhou family's yard. Their waists are bulging. Judging by the shape, they are definitely not batons, they must be guns. With such a formation, even a fly would find it difficult to fly in. If the Zhou family's enemies are ordinary people, Lin Luoran sneers. She has good hearing. She stays on the roof and hides in the dark. The bodyguards don't notice her at all. Lin Luoran also hears the conversation of the Zhou couple. No wonder Mrs. Zhou was so arrogant last time in the hospital. It turns out that Commander Qin and the old man of the Zhou family were friends. However, Zhou Guojun was still sober in the end. No matter how close they were, their friendship would fade away after meeting Baojia after she asked for it countless times. However, Zhou Guojun did have some ability. He actually managed to find a helper who could deal with ordinary people. There are no stars tonight. Countless lights are shining in the noisy capital. In the Zhou family's house in the suburbs, it is so quiet that only Mrs. Zhou's sobbing can be heard. It's too late to cry now. Lin Luoran gently lands on the balcony of the second floor. Mrs. Zhou, who is sobbing, suddenly raises her head. The bodyguards are not to be trifled with. They pull out their guns quickly and orderly. However, as a cultivator, Lin Luoran's reaction is faster. The bullets didn't even have time to be fired. The bodyguards felt their bodies being pulled by an invisible force and fell off the balcony. Bang! 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 At this moment, the bodyguards downstairs also react. Bullets are flying towards the balcony on the second floor. They are determined to turn Lin Luoran into a sieve. Lin Luoran raises her eyebrows as the bullet hits the glass silently. Bulletproof glass. It seems that the Zhou family has not given up. They are really going to fight with her. Lin Luoran is in the level of laying foundation, but she is still a flesh and blood cultivator. Bullets are flying towards her from a few steps away. Lin Luoran still cares a little, but only a little. While dodging the bullets, golden light gathers on her fingertips. It is the same B-tail spell that Lin Luoran used to carve a jade pendant for Tess in the North Pole. Now that Lin Luoran is in the level of laying foundation, the B-tail spell is no longer a simple bee sting. As soon as she finished forming a seal, many golden bee stingers whizzed out from her hands. They collided with the bullets and actually penetrated the bullets, nailing these shockingly fast lethal weapons back to the ground. Mrs. Zhou nervously grabs Zhou Guojun's hand. Zhou Guojun gives her a reassuring look. The Zhou family is well prepared. If Zhou Guojun had the eyesight to clearly see the appearance of the bullet on the ground, perhaps his confidence would not be so strong. The bullets don't just fall to the ground. The bee stingers cast by the spell of gold go through the heads of the bullets and the tails of the bullets. The bee stingers changed the trajectory of the bullets and nailed them back to the ground. What's more, the bee stingers are extremely sharp. However, it seems that all the stingers have a target. All the bodyguards with guns have their hands pierced through in an instant. The tendons of their hands are hurt and they are lying on the ground, wailing. Lin Luoran turns around and smiles at Mrs. Zhou. Mrs. Zhou is even more nervous. Mrs. Zhou, we meet again. Because of the bulletproof glass, the people in the room can't hear as well as Lin Luoran. They can only see Lin Luoran's lips moving. Mrs. Zhou can't hear what Lin Luoran is saying, but she can see the sarcasm in Lin Luoran's eyes. Mrs. Zhou is obviously scared, but she is also angry for no reason. Mrs. Zhou has hated Lin Luoran ever since they fought in the hospital and Mrs. Zhou ran away. Later, Zhou Yaoi's bones were broken and Mrs. Zhou found out that it was Lin Luoran who did it. Mrs. Zhou wants all of the Lin family to die with her. However, Zhou Yaoi's master said that the Lin family is under the protection of someone. They have to endure. They have been enduring for 3 years, but what they get in return is her son's body. Thinking of this, Mrs. Zhou stares at Lin Luoran through the window with hatred in her eyes. A golden light flashes on Lin Luoran's fingertip. She cuts on the bulletproof glass and a circle appears. The glass is not completely broken. What? Lin Luoran is a little surprised. She hears the sound of a machine turning above her head. A bell-like object falls from the roof and covers Lin Luoran in it. It must weigh more than 1,000 pounds. The aftershock even shakes the balcony on the second floor. If the Zhou family's house had not been built in such a way, the balcony would have collapsed under the heavy weight. Seeing that Lin Luoran is covered in the bell, Mrs. Zhou is overjoyed. Zhou Guojun is more steady. Crack, crack. The sound of a mechanism is heard. As expected, there is a familiar, secret door in the Zhou family's study. The door is moved aside and a middle-aged man in a Taoist robe appears. Master, your plan is perfect. Now that the devil is trapped, shall we move on to the next step? Zhou Guojun bows his hand. He seems to respect this Taoist very much. Who says that the Zhou family must rely on others? Old Zhou's personal connections are more reliable. Just like this otherworldly master, whom Zhou Guojun had invited after promising countless benefits, didn't he come up with a perfect plan and catch a turtle in a jar? Zhou Guojun is proud of himself. Mrs. Zhou has been depressed for so many days. She doesn't even notice the master she invited. Her hands are trembling. God knows. If he knew that it is a master in the level of laying foundation who is causing trouble for the Zhou family, he would never step out of the cultivation place no matter how good Zhou Guojun's promise is. What should he do now? The middle-aged Taoist is thinking about it. He is just thinking that the strengthened bell and glass can withstand the attack of a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. Suddenly, the bell shakes. Hiss, the bell shakes. It is not the sound of metal and stone colliding. It sounds like someone is cutting a piece of paper with a sharp knife. That's right, this copper bell that had been reinforced was like a thin piece of craft paper. Now, someone was holding a sharp knife and slashing it downwards. With a flash of white light, the bell is broken into halves and falls to the side. Under the astonishment of the Zhou couple, Lin Luoran is unscathed. She is holding a sword in her right hand and standing in the ruins of the bell. Through the bulletproof glass, she is staring at the master they invited. The middle-aged Taoist widens his eyes. For the first time, he sees the face of the cultivator in the level of laying foundation. A girl in her 20s. He has only cultivated in the mountains for more than 10 years. How come the world of cultivation has changed so fast? When did such a young cultivator in the level of laying foundation appear? A female cultivator. The middle-aged Taoist's fingers are stiff. Everyone knows that female cultivators are mean and unreasonable. What should he do? The middle-aged Taoist has a bitter face. He can't see the pleading eyes of the Zhou couple. He doesn't even know how to get out of here. Lin Luoran snorts and slashes at the bulletproof glass with the bright sword. The glass, strengthened by some secret spell, is totally defenseless against a grade 5 magic weapon. The glass shatters on the ground. The middle-aged Taoist notices that the pieces of glass are covered with frost. He shivers. The broken glass is like the psychological defense of the Zhou couple. As soon as Lin Luoran steps into the study, Mrs. Zhou has become a hysterical beast. She rushes at Lin and tries to beat her up. Of course, Mrs. Zhou is kicked away before she can even touch Lin Luoran's clothes. Zhou Guojun collapses. This time, he is not pretending. He really feels that there is no hope for him to escape. He doesn't care about the power and position anymore. The middle-aged Taoist bows and says, "Master." Lin Luoran says emotionlessly, "You are quite capable in some ways." The Taoist lowers his head even more. Lin Luoran is not flattering him. The middle-aged Taoist is only in the middle stage of training qi. Lin Luoran didn't notice his breath at all. He is indeed good at hiding his breath. Lin Luoran has been thinking many times about how to deal with Zhou Yaoi's parents in order to establish her prestige and vent her hatred. However, looking at Zhou Guojun, who has aged 10 years in an instant, and Mrs. Zhou, who used to be arrogant, lying at the foot of the table, Lin Luoran suddenly feels that revenge is boring. It is impossible for Lin Luoran to let them go and let the Zhou family, who have lost their only son and face, take revenge. However, Lin Luoran is not interested in torturing them. Therefore, while the middle-aged Taoist is trembling in fear, Lin Luoran throws a fireball at Zhou Guojun and Mrs. Zhou. Before they can cry out in pain, they die in the same way as their precious son. Hearing the screams of the Zhou couple, the middle-aged Taoist is sweating. After Lin Luoran deals with the main characters today, she turns to look at him. He can't help but feel scared. Who says that cultivators are not afraid of death? Only when a person has enjoyed extreme wealth will he be afraid of poverty. In the same way, only cultivators who pursue immortality are more afraid of death than ordinary people. At this moment, the middle-aged Taoist suddenly remembers what Lin Luoran said when she entered the room, "You are quite capable in some ways." Of course, the middle-aged Taoist knows that the reason why he can fool a cultivator in the level of laying foundation is because of one thing. "I didn't know that the Zhou family was against you. I believed his words and offended you. I am willing to offer my breath-holding spell to ask for your forgiveness." He is in fear, but Lin Luoran is even more shocked. Chapter 172. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't say anything, the middle-aged Taoist nervously hands her a tattered book. Lin Luoran grabs the book and turns it over. The book is indeed about a secret method called breath-holding spell. Although the Taoist's personal ability is low, Lin Luoran is not completely defenseless against him. She has heard many stories of people failing miserably. Therefore, it seems that she is reading the book, but in fact, her fingers are covered with a thin layer of wachan. Lin Luoran doesn't touch the book at all. Master. The middle-aged Taoist says tentatively. Lin Luoran closes the book and asks, "What's the relationship between you and the Zhou family?" The middle-aged Taoist then tells Zhou Guojun about his friendship with Zhou Guojun. In fact, he doesn't have any relationship with Zhou Guojun. But for the sake of Zhou Guojun's face, and the Zhou family has promised him countless benefits, he comes out of the penance land to help Zhou Guojun deal with this little cultivator. Lin Luoran doesn't say anything. The middle-aged Taoist explains his purpose and cleverly makes the oath of the devil inside to show that he is telling the truth. Cultivators pursue the path of cultivation. As long as they make the oath of the devil inside, they will not be able to make any progress in their whole life. Otherwise, they will not have a good ending. This was on a completely different level from the oath that ordinary people casually swore to be struck by lightning. Modern people treated oaths as if they were drinking water or eating, and they did not attach any importance to it. In order to deceive people and win their trust, they even dared to say that their son would not have an asshole. However, once a cultivator swore to the oath of the heart's demon, they would really fulfill it. Lin Luoran finally gets rid of her suspicion. She waves her hand and tells the middle-aged Taoist to leave. The middle-aged Taoist walks out with his back stiff. Before he takes 2 steps, he hears Lin Luoran's voice behind him, "Stop." The middle-aged Taoist is stunned. Is he still going to die? He is thinking about whether he should just fight with this evil woman. Suddenly, he hears the wind behind him and something flies into his arms. Oh, is it a jade box? Exchanging these elixirs for this lousy book of yours is still acceptable, Yi Zichen said coldly. Did he hear it wrong? Now, not only had a female cultivator in her early 20s reached the foundation establishment realm, but she was also so reasonable. The middle-aged Taoist doesn't have time to check what boluses these are. He thanks Lin Luoran respectfully and runs away. He jumps over the wall of the Zhou family. Your Qinggong is not bad. Seeing him running like a rabbit, Lin Luoran smiles and puts away the breath-holding spell, which is only a few pages long. Since she, a foundation-building cultivator, couldn't discover the existence of a middle-stage aura refining cultivator, this breath-restraining technique didn't seem to be a common item. It could be considered another harvest from this trip. Looking at the bodyguards lying on the ground, Lin Luoran smiles. What? Do you still want to stay and be loyal to the Zhou family? A bodyguard mustered up his courage and asked, You won't kill us? Lin Luoran asks casually, Do you hate me? The bodyguard quickly shook his head. Will you call the police? The bodyguard thought for a moment and shook his head firmly. Then, will you announce what happened tonight? This time, it was the bodyguards who shook their heads. Announce. Are you kidding me? What they saw tonight is probably a secret power. They may have to hide their names in the future, in case someone finds them. How can they announce what happened everywhere? Then, you can go now. These 3 reasons are not only for the bodyguards but also for Lin Luoran herself. She won't attack unless she is attacked. Lin Luoran hopes that she can stick to this belief until the end. She won't become a bully and a murderer. The bodyguards help Lin Luoran out of the Zhou family's gate. The servants have already escaped in the chaos. Lin Luoran looks at the brightly lit Zhou's house in the dark night. She suddenly sighs with emotion. She thinks of old Master Zhou, whom she has never met. This may be the emptiness after revenge. She does admire him. Actually, she has only heard a few words about old Master Zhou. The first time she heard about him was when Mrs. Zhou mentioned him in the corridor of the hospital, which calmed Commander Qin down. At that time, Lin Luoran thought it was strange. Now she realizes that it must be because of the life-saving friendship of old Master Zhou. Then there was the fact that old Master Zhou was old friends with cultivators. Lin Luoran has to pay a price to hire this cultivator. However, Without Old Master Zhou's friendship, she can't even get in touch with this cultivator. Old Master Zhou's kindness to Commander Qin and his friendship with the cultivator are both his legacy to his descendants. However, his descendants are too disappointing. Mrs. Zhou's excessive demands lead to the estrangement between the Zhou family and the Qin family. Commander Qin refuses to marry into the Zhou family, which becomes the trigger for all kinds of things until now. The tea cools down when people are gone. What will Old Master Zhou feel if he knows this in the afterlife? Lin Luoran looks back at the brightly lit Zhou's house. A fire jumps on her fingertip and falls down. The fire starts from the study on the second floor and instantly engulfs the entire Zhou family. Finally, some residents nearby call the fire alarm. Hearing that the sound of the fire engine is not far away, Lin Luoran makes sure that the fire has no chance to spread to other places. Lin Luoran casts the windriding spell and disappears into the night sky of the capital as she came. The Zhou family is finished. With the cooperation of all parties, a new round of reshuffling takes place in the capital. The direct descendants of the Zhou family have fallen, and no one knows whether they are dead or alive. Surprisingly, the leaders of the Zhou family don't show any special reaction. Those affiliated to the Zhou family ask for an investigation, but soon, their political enemies seize the opportunity and take them down. There are only so many seats in the capital. The fewer people who occupy the seats, the more people from other factions can fill the seats. Not only that, after knowing the reason of the fall of the Zhou family, these unscrupulous nobles begin to restrain their descendants. They act cautiously and keep a low profile. In this world of singing and dancing, the power that you think is infallible is not a barrier that can protect you from doing evil. Some people don't care about these things. In front of the supernatural power, everything is nothing. The atmosphere in the capital is much better now. However, Lin Luoran, the initiator of all this, is not in the mood to care about the surging undercurrents. It is a nice day for a trip. Lin Luoran hides in the shade of a tree on the city wall and reads the breath-holding spell. Luodong jumps on the city wall and then climbs up the wall. He is fascinated by the winding Great Wall. This is Badaling, the first stop of Lin Luoran's trip with Luodong. Lin Luoran closes the book and tries to slow down her breath. Following the spell in the book, she gradually blends into the mottled color of the city wall. Sister. Although Luodong doesn't cultivate, his single Taoist root of the earth is very special. The boy keenly senses the subtle change of the city wall. Lin Luoran smiles. She can't hide her breath anymore. She puts the book away and makes sure that no one is around. Then she jumps up to the top of the city wall. What? Do you want to see the Great Wall from the sky? Chapter 173. There are more than 3,000 chapters in this book, and it is very likely that there will be a second chapter today. Therefore, I'm begging for your collection and comments. In Luodong's life, he has had 3 different flying experiences. He was only 7 or 8 years old at that time, and he was even more shy than he is now. Sitting on Goldie's back, Luodong clenched his fists nervously and looked down at the Mount Qingcheng. He was so curious and nervous that his heart almost stopped beating. Sitting on a plane was a completely different feeling. The clouds blocked one's line of sight. The blue sky was quiet and peaceful, making one's heart want to roll around in the clouds and sleep comfortably on the cloud bed. However, these 2 kinds of thoughts were filled with comfort and ease, inevitably losing the courage of a little man. Not like now. Luodong is standing in front of the sword of bright snow, and there is a light shield in front of them. The fresh air filters through the shield, which makes people feel refreshed. Due to the friction caused by flying at such a high altitude, the shield blocks the wind. It is indeed a must for home travel. Oh, it should be a must for home flying. His classmates who talk about online games every day may never have such an experience. Luodong is standing on a flying sword and looking down from the sky of the Great Wall of China. Those tourists are right under their noses, but they can't see Luodong and Luodong above their heads. This is really a strange and nervous feeling. Sister, can't they see us? After all, from the inside, the light shield is also shining. Even if the people below are blind, can't they see the light bulb shaking above their heads? There are so many ways for a cultivator to not be seen by mortals. For example, this light shield is supported by the spell of the water, which avoids the problem of friction when flying at a high speed. In addition, there was a soundproof barrier called mini kiliakasm. From the eyes of mortals, they couldn't see the cover overflowing with spiritual chi, so they naturally couldn't see the flying sword and the two people in the cover. Of course, things like mini kiliakasm wasted too much spiritual power when flying. Even in the previous cultivation world, few people used it. That was why the sky was filled with sword lights and magic weapons. Seeing Lin Luoran nodding, Luodong is excited. He keeps saying, lower, lower. Lin Luoran, who has always been agreeable to him, smiles. She controls the sword riding spell and rises to the sky slowly. The sound of the wind blowing through the light shield could be heard. The Great Wall was getting smaller and smaller. The heads of the tourists were like ants. Higher, higher. Luodong feels that his heart is beating fast. The feeling of flying makes his blood boil. For a moment, he even felt that if he could go back in time, he would even dare to resist those cruel kidnappers when he was young. White clouds floated past the light barrier. Unknowingly, the two of them had already flown to such a high altitude. Seeing that Luodong is no longer scared, Lin Luoran doesn't say anything. At this moment, silence is better than words. Where should he go next? A large group of people in the capital, such as Minister Chen of the Special Department and Fopish Mu, who has become an elite in the business circle, all want to see Lin Luoran for various reasons. Unfortunately, Lin Luoran and Luodong didn't go back after they finished the Great Wall. Instead, they bought train tickets to Xi'an. 2 hours later, they got on the train. In fact, if Lin Luoran flew on her sword, it would be much faster. However, the purpose of this trip was to help Luodong improve his fear of crowds. Therefore, Lin Luoran chose to take the train and bought 2 hard berth tickets. Both of them have changed into simple casual summer clothes. However, when they got on the noisy carriage, they were still eye-catching. People in the carriage who are busy putting their luggage can't help glancing at them. Whenever Luodong sees a lot of people, he becomes a timid child again. However, Lin Luoran squeezes through the crowd by herself. Many people make way for her because of her temperament. Lin Luoran easily finds her berth. Lin Luoran turns around and sees that Luodong is still standing at the head of the crowded carriage. Lin Luoran waves to him as if she has never considered whether Luodong can adapt to this environment or whether he has the guts to walk over. Anyway, Lin Luoran is looking at him with a smile. Luodong hesitates for a while and then tries to squeeze through the crowd. However, he bumps into a passenger's suitcase. Hearing the sound, Luodong is startled. The sorry sound is as low as a mosquito's buzz. The passenger yells, "Look where you are going." Luodong's shoulders stiffen when he hears the muffled voice of the passenger. However, the thick-shouldered passenger adds, "What if it hits your foot?" Isn't he blaming Luodong? Luodong nods and says, "Sorry," again. Suddenly, he has some courage. Like a mudfish, he squeezes through the crowd quickly. Lin Luoran sees everything, but she still says nothing. With a long whistle, the train started to move. Lin Luoran bought 2 lower berths facing each other. Luodong wants to talk about how he felt just now. However, Lin Luoran is looking at the scenery outside the window, so he doesn't say it. Lin Luoran gets on the train right after she buys the ticket. Unlike other passengers who have prepared snacks, Lin Luoran is on the train at 4 p.m. An hour after the train starts, some passengers on the upper berth and next to Luodong start to eat snacks and instant noodles. Under Mrs. Lin's strict supervision, Luodong's mother makes sure that every meal is nutritious. Therefore, Luodong is not allowed to eat instant noodles. Therefore, when it's almost lunchtime, Luodong smells the aroma of instant noodles and craves it. Lin Luoran notices that Luodong keeps glancing at other passengers out of the corner of his eyes. She can't help but laugh in her heart. However, Luodong doesn't say anything, so Lin Luoran pretends that she doesn't see him. At 8:00 in the evening, most of the passengers have finished dinner and are chatting. Before Lin Luoran says that she feels sorry for them, a student sleeping on Luodong's upper berth feels sorry for them first. They look like sister and brother, but they haven't even had a sip of water since they got on the bus, let alone eating. Is there anything wrong with them? In fact, appearance can really make a good first impression. The boy doesn't think that if he really can't afford to eat, he won't be able to buy 2 berth tickets. Of course, he doesn't dare to talk to Lin Luoran. After thinking for a while, the boy tries to wave his hand to Luodong. Hey, are you going on a trip with your sister? What? Someone takes the initiative to talk to him. It doesn't look bad. Luodong's voice is not loud, but he speaks in an organized way. He says that he is going on a trip to Xi'an. I see. My name is Rong, Donglin. What about you? Hearing the word, Dong, in Rong's name, Luodong feels more friendly. However, he doesn't lose his vigilance. He tells Rong his name and doesn't mention Lin Luoran, who seems to be asleep on the berth. The two get to know each other quickly. Rong takes out 3 bowls of instant noodles and says awkwardly, I got off the train at Xi'an. I bought so many bowls of instant noodles and I don't know how to eat them all by myself. Luodong, can you do me a favor and help me? Luodong licks his lips. Is this really okay? After all, he is only 12 years old. He can't stand such persuasion. Looking at Lin Luoran, who is sleeping, Luodong thinks that his sister must be hungry, so he can't help but nod. Rong turns over and tries to get up. Luodong thinks that it is inappropriate for him to ask Luodong to help him after he has eaten Rong's food. Therefore, Luodong plucks up his courage and says that he will make the instant noodles himself. Rong is patient. He knows that Luodong should take care of Luodong's self-esteem. He tells Luodong where to turn on the water and warns Luodong to be careful. It is the first time for Luodong to make instant noodles. It takes him a long time to make the seasoning bag according to Rong's instructions. When he finally gets to the water with 2 bowls of instant noodles, he is already sweating profusely. As soon as Luodong leaves, Lin Luoran, who has been sleeping, opens her eyes. Her black pupils seem to be shining brightly. Rong feels ashamed when he is sleeping and doesn't dare to look at her. Lin Luoran smiles and says in a low voice, good people will be rewarded for their good deeds. The boy who looks like a student is trying to avoid eye contact with Lin Luoran. What? Rong doesn't hear it clearly. Lin Luoran closes her eyes again. It turns out that Luodong has come back with 2 bowls of instant noodles. Luodong puts the bowl of instant noodles on the table and says, Donglin, you eat first. Then he leaves with another bowl. Rong looks at Lin Luoran, who seems to be pretending to be asleep. He is confused. Lin Luoran is not asleep. Why did she ask her younger brother to fetch the instant noodles? If it is because of her self-esteem, why did she open her eyes halfway and let Rong know that she is awake? When Luodong finishes making the noodles and comes back, Lin Luoran wakes up. After listening to Luodong's story, Lin Luoran only says, thank you, to Rong, as if she doesn't want to get close to him. Luodong blushes. He doesn't know why his sister, who has always been nice to him, is so cold this time. He tries to talk to Rong about something else, trying to make the kind-hearted Donglin feel less awkward. However, Luodong is a kid who doesn't like to talk to others. He can't talk about Goldie, spells, and flying swords. There is nothing interesting in the school. The only thing he can talk about is the villa of the Lins, which is different from other people's. Luodong talks about the delicious peaches at home, the fruit wine made by his sister, and the flowers in the house. Rong doesn't think that Luodong's house is a big villa. He thinks that Luodong is talking about the countryside, and he listens to Luodong with great interest. Of course, he also felt strange in his heart. This pair of siblings did not seem to come from the countryside at all. Luodong invites Rong to visit his home when he is free. Rong agrees. Seeing that Lin Luoran doesn't say anything, Rong thinks that Luodong is just making a promise. Soon, the lights are off. Luodong falls asleep with the excitement of making a new friend. At 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, everyone is asleep. A flashlight flashes. Lin Luoran opens her eyes and asks, "Who is it?" The man is shining the flashlight on the luggage rack. Hearing a female voice, he answers casually, "I'm looking for a kid. I don't know which carriage he is in." Lin Luoran sneers. He is looking for a kid and finds the luggage rack. Does he think that she is as stupid as a 3-year-old? However, she can't ignore Rong, who looks like a student. The luggage is right beside her feet. Hearing Lin Luoran snort, the man shines the flashlight on Lin Luoran again. Lin Luoran opens her mouth and says, "Get out." The man holds his head and drops the flashlight. A passenger is woken up by the noise and starts to mumble. The man runs away with his tail between his legs, ignoring the sudden headache. Lin Luoran turns over and seems to fall asleep again. The carriage is filled with the sound of breathing, teeth grinding, and snoring. However, Luodong is sleeping soundly. Such an episode is not worth mentioning. In the dark, Lin Luoran's eyes are clear and she smiles. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.